Alright, we are back with more Great Ace Attorney. We're about to start the adventure of the unspeakable story, so let us begin. Down to the Baskervilles. Interesting.
It's coming! Sholmes's cry pierced through the thick wall of fog around us. Wisps of vapor flowed over the pistol as I cocked it, and I waited, breathlessly, in the stillness. The silence lasted for what seemed an eternity, until, at last, it appeared. From the shadows of the cloud, an enormous beast sprang out upon us. A hound it was, but not such a hound as any mortal has ever seen. Its eyes glowed with a smoldering glare. The whole of its ox-sized body was outlined in white-hot flames. Its rumbling pant and hideous howl, so terrified was I that I began to tremble with fear. "Look well, Wilson," Sholmes declared, gazing upon the mystical beast. "For this is the diabolical hound of the Baskervilles."
Okay. A classic Sherlock Holmes story. Sherlock Holmes. Our first 2 months in London passed by in a flash. Oh, wow. And that disconcerting courtroom experience we were first thrown into on the day we arrived in the country, and then Soseki-san's terrible ordeal that had followed closely behind, we had emerged victorious. However, then there came an abrupt end to our opportunities to appear in court, which was hardly surprising, of course, since I was nothing more than an amateur, an unknown student of law from a faraway land. So life in our little office was very quiet. That is, until it was shattered one day by that fateful telegram. 15th April, 9:13 a.m., Naruhodo's Legal Consultancy. No, they've certainly made it a nice living arrangement. That morning, I was woken by the unreserved knocking on the door by the telegram boy, but after he'd gone, Susato-san's behavior became very obviously strange. Susato-san? Yes? Is it time to leave for court already? Let me see. What case is it today? I don't think I'm scheduled to defend anyone at the moment, am I? Oh, no, of course not. How silly of me. But I think Iris said she'd make us breakfast this morning, so shall we go down to Mr. Sholmes' suite? Yes! Iris makes the most delicious breakfast for me. She does, doesn't she? And once our bellies are full, we can leave for court in fighting fit form. Let me see. What case is it today? Here we go again. Let's talk about the telegram. So, what was it about? The telegram that was delivered this morning, I mean. Oh, a telegram? I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, but you're not going to get away with that. Well, I didn't think I would. Actually, don't give it a moment's thought. It's nothing interesting. Boring, in fact. It was just a boring old telegram. That's 3 times now that she's tried and failed to convince me it was nothing. I promise that I'll tell you about it at some point. Alright, I understand. I suppose Soseki-san will have arrived back in Japan by now, won't he? Yes, I should think so. He left immediately after that terrible ordeal, which would mean he should have completed the voyage already, or be just a few days away. A fortnight ago, we had that very long telegram from him, do you remember? Complaining of seasickness? But by and large, it seems the voyage has been going well. Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san? I was just wondering, what might have become of Soseki-san had he stayed in London, that's all. He would have been killed by the Reaper's curse. You mean as regards Lord Van Zykes, the Reaper? Yes, I can't help wondering if seasickness would have paled into insignificance in that case. What is it they say? That no one who stands in the dock can be saved from the Reaper, right? Like the way that nightmarish trial ended on the very day we arrived in London. Even 2 months on, the cause of that dreadful fire is still a mystery. Yes, but at least Saseki-san is safely out of the country now. Presumably that means that the curse of the Reaper can only take effect within the confines of the city of London, perhaps? Even if that's the case, it's a little comfort. I have a terrible sense of foreboding. If the legend of the Reaper is to be believed, it would mean he wields the sword of justice himself. Come to think of it, I wonder what he's been up to these past 2 months. Surely not wielding that sword against more acquitted defendants. No, I don't think so. Apparently, Lord Van Zykes hasn't appeared in court once since our last encounter. Oh? Yes, since Saseki-san's trial, he's withdrawn from judicial service again, it seems. Really? Just like before, when he wasn't seen in court at all for several years. So it's just been me who's had to face him in his recent spate of trials, then? Ugh, just my luck. I wonder if luck doesn't come into it. Sorry? What was that? Oh, nothing. Never mind. Yeah. I think he's doing it on purpose, isn't he? Look at my armband. It means a great deal to me, you know, that you cherish his armband so and wear it each time you appear in court. Well, it's very important to me. It shows that I'm a lawyer, and whenever I wear it, I feel as though it gives me strength. Through Kazuma. I absolutely can't be without it, especially when I'm at a critical point in the trial. But just the other day, I noticed you wearing it when we went to visit that park. Sometimes I forget to take it off. Anything worth looking at here? It's spring at last, and the weather is warmer now. But I love the smell of the fire and the steam rising from the kettle. Oh, would you like some tea, Naruhodo-san? Oh, thank you, Susato-san, but I'm alright. With the green tea Susato-san makes for me from time to time and Iris's unique herbal infusions, this place is paradise for a true tea lover. Green tea is such a wonderful accompaniment to British tea cakes, don't you think? What else? A shovel. That spade has been in here since we started renting the place. Oh, that's not a spade, Naruhodo-san. It's a shovel. No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a spade. No, spades are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a shovel. I don't want to dig a hole for myself, so let's leave it. Oh no, this is like in the Phoenix Wright games. Phoenix and Maya are constantly arguing about the nature of ladders versus step ladders, and I'm assuming that was a little reference to that. We've only been here in London for about 2 months, but my desk is starting to look a little messy already. You could tidy up once in a while. Susato-san, I always say, making a mess is a small sacrifice to pay for being able to further your studies. And time spent tidying up is time you can't devote to the same cause. And time spent on ridiculous arguments is time that could be better spent on some simple housework. She wins, but I'm supposed to be the lawyer here. Do you know, I've never seen inside your room there, Susato-san. I've never even peeped inside. I should think so, too. A young maiden's private chamber is a place of bittersweet secrets, you know. Whatever you say, young maiden. Anything worth looking at over here? What's this? We were rather lucky to find that old aquarium left behind here. The prawns you put in there are doing rather well, and the anemones, too. It's a wonderful invention, isn't it? The sea, behind glass, inside your room. Another example of Great Britain's greatness. Having to clean it out and change the water isn't so great, though, is it? Oh, this must be the telegram. Let's see. Ah! No, you mustn't look at that. Not under any circumstances. Alright, I won't. I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san, but you can be very mischievous at times. Then put the telegram away if you don't want people looking at it. Alright, anything else to look at. Ah, the Daruma doll I brought with me from home, still with only one eye colored in. I said I'd color the other eye once I won my first court case here in Britain, but you have won, haven't you? Twice, in fact. Because I feel as though I'm still lacking as a lawyer. I tell you what, why don't you color the other eye in once you think I'm a proper, fully-fledged lawyer? If you insist. What's this? So this is the tea set that Susato-san brought with her from Japan. Let's hope she doesn't notice me slipping sugar and milk into my tea when she makes it. It's just so bitter. Tea is a drink to be enjoyed, Naruhodo-san. You really don't have to force yourself to drink it, you know. I don't like to see you screw up your face, so... I want to know why they have a giant thing of onions just hanging on the wall there. Or garlic, whatever that is. But anyway, I guess we're heading to the Sholm Suite. With the furniture we've moved in recently, this place is starting to feel like a real office. So, Naruhodo's legal consultancy, my lodgings and office, located in the attic above the suite of rooms rented by Mr. Sholmes. I call it a consultancy. The clients aren't exactly beating down the door. The home and office of the world-famous great detective and his young companion, Iris. It seems people from all over the globe come to engage his consulting detective services. Let's do it. 5th of April, Sholmes' suite. Morning, Runo. Morning, Susie. Good morning, Iris. Iris? What is it, Runo? What is that terrible noise? It sounds like a cat being strangled. Ah, yeah, you noticed that, did you? Oh no. Hurley isn't in the best form this morning, it seems. There we go. He's coming. Oh, he's looking a little upset. Hello. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Good morning. A good morning to die, perhaps. Has something happened, Mr. Sholmes? You look miserable, and the way you were playing the violin before. Man, what's gotten into Sholmes? Yes, house slumped. My analytical mind is dead. Music is dead. The world is dead. Damn this blanched existence. That's all it is, my dear fellow. Nothing of consequence. Oh no, is he upset because he doesn't have anything to do? Because like that, I remember from the books, Holmes would get very depressed when he didn't have any cases he was working. I'm afraid I don't understand. He'd also start doing cocaine, which is a fun fact. Well, Iris, isn't it time we ate? Some dry toast and insipid coffee for me. If it's not too much trouble. Meow. Oh, it's a cat. Yep. Oh, look, it's Wagahai. Good morning, boy. Wait, that must be some sort of tiny door for cats to use. But how did it get there? Well then, everyone, time for breakfast. Oh, wonderful. Let me help you, Iris. Would indeed be a fine day to die. Oh, I knew something looked different. Something's missing from Mr. Sholmes' desk. What is it? Let's go look. Oh, there's Iris. Can you say hi to her? Wagahai. Let's talk to her. Mr. Natsume's cat seems to have settled into his new home then. He left the cat here? Dat booger sugar. Oh yes, and I've become very attached to little Waggy. It would appear his previous owner is completely forgotten to him. Cats are unfeeling creatures. Their mews are as empty as the hearts of the muses. Mr. Natsume had no intention of taking Waggy back to Japan. I wonder why he kept him in the first place. I expect he would have taken him if he could. But pets are strictly forbidden aboard steamships in our experience. And for good reason. Terrible things can happen if the rules of passage are not obeyed. Well, I don't mind, because Waggy is adorable. Yes, he really is. Oh yes, what about the door? I don't remember seeing that tiny thing in the main door before. Where did that come from? Oh, you noticed? You are observant, Runo. Look, I used this. It's my latest invention. What is that? I call it the cat flap-o-mat. Gosh, a machine for making doors just for cats? That's right, it can make a cat flap for a little furry friend like Waggy in seconds. That is what we would like to call a very one-trick pony. And it can do it in any door at all, no matter what it's made of. It's very powerful, you see. Wouldn't it have been quicker just to make the cat flap rather than making a machine to make the cat flap? Well, yes, maybe, but now I can make cat flaps anywhere I like. Oh, I think it's wonderful. You would. You must make one for us in the door of our office upstairs, Iris. She really knows how to come up with unconventional inventions, this girl. Hehehe. Alright. Let's go look at Sholmes' desk. What's different about it? I'm assuming it's the fact that there's nothing on it. Look at Mr. Sholmes' desk. It's completely clear. Isn't that an enormous machine usually on it? We can never hope to understand what goes on in the great detective's mind, Mr. Naruhodo. Why, next time we're invited, we may find he's vacated the entire suite. That's scarily plausible, actually. Yeah. Oh, does it say... There's all sorts on these shelves. Chemistry apparatus, books, papers, and lots of things I've never seen before. It's all heaped up so high, I can't help feeling that the whole lot is going to topple at any moment. Oh, it's such a charmingly untidy collection of paraphernalia, isn't it? It just looks messy to me, like my desk. But you, Mr. Naruhodo, must learn to tidy up after yourself. No favoritism there, then. The fire is burning comfortably in the grate again today. It's a very different feeling to a Japanese hibachi somehow. Oh, look at that photographic print of a lady displayed on the mantelpiece. Could it be? Yes, it must be. It's the woman. Oh, how exciting. Is that supposed to mean something to me? The woman? We just got an achievement. These are all mementos of Mr. Sholmes' past cases, I think. If he'd been involved in my case, I wonder if the beef steak from Le Carnival would be on display here. A mystery shoe, a curious hammer, some mysterious dancing man, a bust of Napoleon? Ah, what an entrancing collection. It looks like an untidy assortment of junk to me. Rather like what's on my own shelves. Well, you really ought to learn to keep your things in order, Mr. Naruhodo. No favoritism there at all. What do we got here? It looks like that huge metal chest is being used as a table for tea and coffee. Seems very sturdy, with an equally sturdy lock. Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't go around opening things. I always have to keep an eye on you, don't I? You're very mischievous. How did you come to that conclusion? So yeah, the photo of the woman is referencing, I believe, a scandal in Bohemia, which is a case where Holmes was so entranced by the woman involved that he wanted a picture of her at the end of the whole event. It's a charming little white shelf and full of charming little bottles too, but the contents of them aren't quite so charming, it seems. Science is the future, Mr. Naruhodo. You can't deny it. I'm saving my money so that I can buy some chemistry apparatus as well. Law, chemistry, takedown throws, what diverse skills you boast, Mr. Sato. As useful as they are, I'm not sure that my throwing skills are worthy of inclusion in that list. This is where Iris notes down ideas, isn't it? Let's see, what does it say today? Ah, the Boscombe Valley Mystery. Oh, how intriguing! It must be the title of Iris's latest work. Oh my! I wonder what fantastic tale awaits us. Susato-san looks like an angel, but I bet she's dreaming of the most unsavory crime you could imagine. Iris's beautiful tea set there is on the table as usual. A cup of one of her special herbal blends always helps me to relax when I'm feeling the strain. English pastime. Yes, Irene Adler. Yep. That's the name of the lady from A Scandal in Bohemia. Yep. I read a lot of Sherlock Holmes growing up. The English pastime of tea has many similarities with our own tea ceremony customs, don't you think? It's the idea of hospitality behind it. That's the essence of tea. Come to think of it, I haven't seen Iris doing much writing recently, but there's paper already set up in the typewriter, look, as if she's about to start. That reminds me, when I mentioned that Iris was in the process of writing a full-fledged novel, Mr. Natsume was most impressed. Ah, yes, Mr. Natsume. That's what I'll be doing too once I'm back in Japan, he said, through tightly clenched fists and teeth. So, Sasaki Natsume is actually a real person, interestingly enough. Found that out after this last case. And he really did go to London. He didn't get embroiled in a murder case, but he did come back and write a book, and he became a Japanese poet. So, yes, he's a real person. Here, I know it'll cheer you up, Sholmes. Look at my armband. Mr. Sholmes, could I ask you your opinion about this? You lure me to raise my languid head with the promise of some mental exaltation. Yet in my morbid depression, I am confronted with the most mundane of problems. Oh. My mind finds greater stimulation in the unforgiving monotony of the floor than your miserable offering. Always glad to help. Oh, my head weighs heavy on my shoulders. Okay. Wanting to yeah, let's talk about that. You seem to be very unhappy this morning, Mr. Sholmes. What's happened? It used to be the case that in my hands, this violin sung like the dawn chorus. Its resonant tones would make flowers bloom. It would? But now, the muses are unamused with me. The goddesses of music have thrown me over. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? For hours I have bowed, for days even. Through the night I have endeavored, to no avail. That sound, my tone, is lost. That brilliant, clear, unwavering tone. Gone forever! No more recitals of unbridled emotion! Oh my. Well, you haven't been practicing much lately, have you, Hurley? Don't worry. Don't worry, I'm sure it'll come back to you in time. Heed my words, Mr. Narahudo. The goddesses of the arts are fickle. One day they bestow genius on a man, the next they unmercifully withdraw it. Oh, dear. Ah, why is this happening to me? If they take the turn I have with the violin from me, what is left, for pity's sake? What is left? Deduction, perhaps? Isn't that what you're known for? Mr. Sholmes, I don't like to pry, but... your desk looks rather empty today. Well done, Mr. Sato. Your observational skills to your credit. Oh, no, Mr. Sholmes, they pale in insignificance when compared to yours. You'd struggle not to notice, wouldn't you? You mean Hurley's great analytoscope? That's at Windibank now. Sorry, it's at Windy Bank? No, Windibank's, the pawnbrokery. Pawn? What? You mean you've pawned that enormous machine of yours? It has some considerable value, you see. Quite undeservingly. But isn't it a very important machine for your work? I do wish you had consulted us If your situation had become so desperate, I should have gladly passed what little income I have to you. Dear madam, things are far from desperate. But the pawnbroker has your wonderful machine. How can it be anything but desperate? Making use of a pawnbroker is quite ordinary here in London, I assure you. It is? It doesn't sound ordinary at all. It would seem that neither of you fully understand how pawnbrokering works. Oh, what's to understand exactly? Yeah, let's talk about this. What did you mean when you said we didn't fully understand how pawnbroking works? To the people of London, pawnbrokeries are akin to banks. Banks? On Mondays, merchants relinquish their finest jackets and trappings to their pawnbroker of choice. With the money they receive in return, they are able to trade happily through the week. And then on Saturdays, they go to recover their things using the money they've earned. I had no idea. This has been a fascinating lesson for us. Everyone does it, you see? Especially people in inner London. And should they have money to spare, they would purchase another fine jacket. Not to wear, obviously, but to pawn, should the need arise. Oh, how ingenious. So whenever we have something that's getting in the way, we leave it at Windibanks, you see? The pawnbrokery can be thought of as an extremely secure vault. Who would have thought that even pawnbrokers are different here in Great Britain? Of course, you have to watch Hurley with it. Sometimes he pawns things he really shouldn't. Don't you, Hurley? What does it matter? The world is dead to me now. Oh, what was that? Lagerhai? Oh boy. What was that? Oh no! Lagerhai is tangled up in your violin. I think he thinks it's a toy. No! What's he doing to it? Oh dear. Mr. Sholmes' precious violin. Why should I care? What? I shouldn't be surprised. If the cat is a more accomplished musician than I now. Mr. Sholmes really is in poor spirits, isn't he? Well, anyway, I'll put it back where it lives, shall I, Hurley? Out of the cat's reach, if possible. Maybe we should assess the damage. Alright. Oh, we want to look at the violin, I guess? Okay. Where is it? Over here? Yes, there it is. So this is the violin, is it? It's a Stradivarius, one of the finest violins in the world, made by the renowned Italian luthier, Antonio Stradivari. Oh, I see. It doesn't really look like anything special to me. I happened upon it covered in dust, languishing in a pawn shop down a nondescript back alley. The broker had no idea of its value, so I was able to purchase it for a mere 55 shillings. How honorable of you. And until today, it has been my faithful companion in every great Paganini-inspired performance I have made. I ask you, is there reason to live in a world devoid of music? To tolerate this blanched existence? No! There is none. Mr. Sholmes? What, dear madam? What? My thoughts are preoccupied with fancies of release from this dull routine. Well, it's about the violin. It looks very different to normal, don't you think? Hmm? What do you mean, Mr. Sato? Oh, Susie's right! Yes, the tone of the wood is completely different. And that's not all. I'm sure there was no crack here before. Wait, it's not even the right size, is it? What's this? Uh-oh. I'm terribly sorry to have to tell you this, Mr. Sholmes, but that instrument isn't a violin at all. Then what? I believe it's an entirely different instrument. It's called a viola. What? Oh, Mr. Sholmes, are you alright? You're right. You are quite right. This isn't my faithful son of Arius. So what, pray, is this piece of stringed flotsam? Not your faithful performing partner, then? Ah, I see what must have happened. You do, Iris? This is just a simple mix-up. It sounds like Iris might be able to tell us exactly what's happened if we ask her. Alright. Yeah. What's going on, Iris? What did you mean by a mix-up, Iris? Well, you see, this violin... Sorry, this viola, I mean... It was at Windibank's until last week. At the pawnbroker's? Not Mr. Sholmes' beloved musical partner. That is a proverb from the East, with which you are no doubt familiar, my dear fellows. Always let a beloved child travel. Yes, indeed. So you sent your beloved violin to the pawnbrokers in the hope that it would experience personal growth? Oh, what a wonderful idea! Last week I pawned my great analytoscope in order to release my precious instrument. It would appear Mr. Windibank mistakenly furnished me with this tawdry fiddle instead. But my eyes cannot be deceived by the hollow timbre of this piece of timber. No, but your every sense was deceived by the fact that it just had strings. Growing your instruments, yes. Sure, a fine state of affairs this is. And why I always say, Mr. Naruto, never trust a pawnbroker. They will try to fiddle you every time. But earlier you told us that you could think of a pawnbroker as an extremely secure vault. Come, Mr. Naruto, dilly-dallying will get you nowhere. Sorry? Crunching your toast without vacant aspect, thrusting your copy so obtusely. Are you not a little embarrassed by your own conduct, considering the urgency with which you are faced? You must visit Mr. Windibank's brokery at once. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Sholmes? Precisely, Mr. Son. Without a moment's delay. But I haven't finished my bacon and eggs. My dear fellow, surely you do not still intend to crunch your bacon with an increasingly vacant aspect, to fresh your egg a little more obtusely. Alright, say no more. Let's go then. Don't worry, Runo. I'd be happy to heat it up for you again later. Oh, thank you, Iris. As it happens, I am rather curious to see what a British pawnbroker's looks like. Okay, nothing new to say. So let's head out. Baker Street, and the Windibank's pawnbrokery. Huh. A bustling London street in which can be found Mr. Sholmes' office and Windibank's pawnbrokery. There's a large park nearby, too. Let's go check out Baker Street first. Anything cool going on? Nope, nothing at all, I guess. There's jewelers and pawnbrokers. And there's 221B Baker Street. It's already been 2 months since we started taking lodgings here above Mr. Sholmes' office. I still can't quite believe it. I never expected things would turn out like this. Oh, I know! To actually be sharing accommodation with the world's greatest detective. If I ever find myself before a court of law now, I will have no one regret. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'd be happy to defend you, of course. That seems a little on the nose, Sato. Is something wrong? Maybe you should tell us. Look at all the different things in the window of this shop. Ah, that's Windibank's, the pawnbrokery. It looks much smarter than the pawnbrokers in Japan, doesn't it? Yes, you're right. I find pawn shops at home rather unapproachable, personally. It reminds me of tearfully parting with my favorite fountain pen. I felt so miserable. What doesn't kill us makes us stronger, Mr. Naruto. Well, that's nice, Sasato, but, anyway. Pawnbrokery. 15th of April. Windibank's pawnbrokery. So this is a British pawnbrokery. Oh my, there are all sorts of tools and contraptions here that I've never laid eyes on before. Ah, Sasada-san, and that spark of wonder in your eyes. You can't wait to scour the shelves, can you? I get the impression you enjoy places like this? Oh yes, I don't know why, but seeing such a lot of things I still don't understand is a real thrill for me. My dear fellows, let us not forget why we are here. Oh, Mr. Sholmes. You're calling on matters of business or pleasure. Well, clearly Mr. Sholmes means business too, judging from the spark of fury in his eyes. Ah, Mr. Sholmes, sir. Welcome back. Did you hear that brazen welcome? Well, yes, we are potentially customers, after all. We are disgruntled customers, Mr. Naruhodo. Well, it's time to inform Mr. Winterbank of our eye. Come! The fight is afoot. First, you need to look at my armband. Mr. Winterbank, about this. Let me see. I'll give you tuppence for it. No, I don't want to pawn it. Alright, violin. Naturally, you will recall this, which I retrieved from you some days ago. Yes! This second-rate fiddle is not my faithful instrument, Mr. Winterbank. The color of the wood is different. It has holes in it. It's not even the same size. A wonderful summary of our observations, Mr. Sholmes. I'm so very sorry, sir. How utterly unforgivable of me. An inexcusable mistake for a pawnbroker. There's only one way to make amends. But I shall have to take my own life. What? I don't think that will be necessary, do you? Oh no. If I may just say one thing before I pop off. Yes. It was you, sir, Mr. Sholmes, who took it upon himself to remove the item the other day, I believe. Sorry? As I recall, I entered the storeroom to fetch your violin when I heard, here it is. You did? And when I turned to controvert you, you had taken the viola and left, sir. However, there can be no doubt that the blame lies firmly at my own door for allowing you to leave. So I shall not grumble or grouse any longer. May this guilt die with me. No, stop, my dear fellow. This fault is mine. Phew. It would appear that the fight is over. I do humbly apologize, Mr. Winterbank. Evidently my questionable disposition precipitated this tragedy. Well, you wouldn't be Mr. Herlock Sholmes without that questionable disposition now, would you? Ha ha ha! I do believe you may be right, sir. It's either laugh or cry, I suppose. You are, it must be said, one of my more challenging customers. I needn't remind you of the peculiar collection of items you've brought through my door in the past. Oh, peculiar items? In the extreme, ma'am. For example, the unpublished manuscript of an eponymous work, the novels of Herlock Sholmes or some such. Oh my! A new full-fledged novel? An unpublished? A story I've yet to read, you mean? Forgive me. Wait, before you die, you must tell me more. I must know more. Tell me everything. Wow, Suzato-san is really fired up now. Is there really an unpublished story under this very roof? Well, one day the gentleman here brought in an old metal chest, you see. I should like to entrust this to you, care for a while, Mr. Winterbank. For a chest like that, 1 shilling, sir, not a farthing more. It houses something of very great value indeed. The latest manuscript, recounting the adventures of one Mr. Herlock Sholmes. I beg your pardon? A manuscript? You wish to deposit a manuscript? Indeed I do, for I am confident it will be quite safe here. And that was that. As such, Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom. Mr. Sholmes? Wrong voice. Mr. Sholmes, is that really true? Do I sense that someone doesn't want to talk about this? I continue to pay your fee, do I not? Then kindly continue to store my belongings securely. Of course, sir, of course. They're safe and sound with me, I assure you, on my life. This is all very strange. I wonder, could I ask you something? A gentleman from the east, I see. Yes, that stable suit. I suppose I could offer you 6 for it. Without wishing you to offend, the town is somewhat dull. Sorry? Aha! But for your splendid attire, ma'am, 5 guineas, no less. The colours are exquisite. The design, exotic. Eastern artistry at its finest, may I say. Oh my, 5 guineas, you say? How interesting. Why do I feel as though I've suffered some sort of defeat here? Actually, I was hoping to ask you about your business. I've heard it said that pawnbrokeries are used rather like banks here in London. Yes, sir, indeed. Many of my customers utilize the establishment as you describe. I price their items, and I offer them a proportionate loan and 2 months of secure stowage. If in that time they repay the original sum to me plus the agreed interest, their items are happily returned. But what happens if they don't pay you the money? Then the items are offered for sale in my shop, as you can see on the shelves behind me. So you never sell items before the 2 months has passed, then? That's right, ma'am, that's right. Which means some considerable responsibility rests on my shoulders. Should a customer's precarious or precious belongings be lost, the only recompense is for me to end it all. The very idea, Mr. Winterbank, is an absurdity. You should never talk of one's demise so casually. Says the man who was telling us all it was a good day to die only this morning. And let us not forget that I've already hoped you take measures to ensure such a tragedy never occurs. What sort of measures? I engineered a simple device which Mr. Winterbank has installed here in his shop. I call it the Red-Handed Recorder. Is that not so, Mr. Winterbank? Ha! What was that deep sigh about? What on earth is a red-handed recorder? Use your eyes, my dear fellow. There are just 2 below the ceiling. I can see what appears to be a camera attached to some sort of timing device. Very astute! It is indeed a camera, furnished with some 100 pieces of celluloid film. And every 30 minutes precisely, the camera automatically records the appearance of the shop. Here, I have an example I can show you. This broker is very dramatic, yes. He is very, very dramatic. Ah yes, a print from the camera sets to record the activity at the shop counter. I developed a special type of film, so sensitive it produces a crystal clear image even in darkness. Really? That's extraordinary. Yes, you can clearly see the counter and the door behind it, look. So you see, for someone to enter the premises with ill intent, his identity would be summarily exposed. But did you not say that the photographic prints were taken at 30-minute intervals? Indeed, as you say, my dear madam. Then what if the incident were to occur in between times? One could only say that would be a cruel twist of fate. I must confess your devices have been giving me some cause for distress of late. I beg your pardon, Mr. Winbank. Surely anything but distressing. Reassuring is the word. It's the cost of the film, sir. You must graciously place not 1 but 2 cameras in my shop after all, which means I must pay for nigh on 100 utterly useless prints every single day. I'm afraid the cost of the film will break me before I'm very much older. Nevertheless, a small price to pay to ensure the safety of my preferred pawnbrokery, no? My dear fellows, we verge on an age where safety and security comes at a price. Oh, heaven help us. Now then, Mr. Sholmes, allow me to return your precious violin. Ah, the very thing. Thank you, Mr. Winterbank. Perhaps this might mark the end of the peculiar items you try to pop, eh? Because if anything were to happen to one of them, this would be the only answer. I really think you ought to stop waving that gun around. Someone could get hurt. Fear not! Sorry? I've only loaded a single bullet, so I don't want myself could possibly be armed. That's not really what I meant. Good day to you then, Mr. Winterbank. It's been a pleasure as always, Mr. Sholmes. So, Mr. Naruhodo, now we can explore at last. I guess we're gonna look around. Oh, nothing there that's interesting. Can't find anything out of place. Let's look at it over here. What an assortment of things there are on these shelves here. Crockery, footwear, clocks, and watches. Almost anything you care to imagine. Those are forfeited items, sold for sale by the pawnbroker. What does that really mean, though? When you pawn, or colloquially pop, an item, the broker loans you money against its worth. He stores the item for an agreed period of time, after which the loan must be repaid. If not, he is free to display it in his shop for sale at a price of his choosing. Oh yes, now you've explained it. I'm noticing little price tags on everything. Of course! Simply by paying the agreed interest on the loan, one can extend the period of safekeeping. So you may pawn that black garb of yours without fear, my dear fellow. My treasured university uniform? Never! It embodies my student spirit. What's this? Now what do you suppose this rather enormous machine does? It seems to have two little windows for looking through. Allow me to enlighten you, my dear fellows. What you're looking at is a stereoscope. A stereoscope? Fascinating. It is aptly named, I assure you. Look through the eyepieces and see for yourself. Oh, I should be delighted to. Excuse me a moment while I just have a look. Just before you do, there is something I should point out. My dear fellows, in order to see the image properly, stereoscopically as it were, you will need to be cross-eyed. However, if that is beyond you, it is of little consequence today. Alright then, I'm gonna try it. Ah! Mr. Naruhodo, you must see, at once! Alright then. So I need to be cross-eyed, like I'm trying to look at my own nose? What the? I don't believe it. It's just a photographic print, but it seems like you could reach out and touch it. Yes, the sense of depth is startling, is it not? Stereoscopes are one of London's many fads. They are often found at little stalls in the park. People queue for hours to see them. Why? Why are people meddling with such black magic? It is no magic, my dear madam. It is, well, far too complicated to explain at present. We shall save this lesson for another day. Oh. That's not a calendar you could easily miss, is it? 15th of April, today's date. For science! Yes. Yes, that's not for sale, I must point out. It is an Eastern-style page-a-day calendar. Every night at midnight, I tear off the front page to reveal the following today's date. The perfect calendar for a tearaway fellow such as yourself, Mr. Bang, Mr. Winterbank. Who was it who walked out of here with the wrong violin before? Well, when the agreed storage period is passed without repayment, our articles are forfeited, you see. So I have to keep a close eye on the date. It's something of a pawnbroker's obsession, you might say. Oh yes, I can see you're very dedicated to your job. What's this? Look at this. Whatever could it be used for? I have no idea. Ah. There's a small catch just here, look. We're gonna open it, aren't we? Oh my, that's amazing! It has some sort of spring-loaded mechanism, which we'll never manage to put back to the way it was before. Hmm? What are you two doing? What? Us? Nothing. No, nothing at all. Whatever this device is, it seems to have a pair of little windows to look through. I feel as though I've seen something rather similar to this elsewhere. Yep. Is it like a... Oh, it's a mini stereoscope, maybe? I bet so. Alright, anything else worth looking at? Look at this! What could this lovely, big, shiny box be? That, my dear madam, is a music box. Surely you have such things in your own country? Oh my, yes, but I've never seen one so large before. Shall we listen a while? Ah, what a sublime sound. It's like the music of angels. I've never heard anything like it before in my life. These particular specimens of the larger variety can be found in public houses and restaurants. There is a metal disc inside on which the notes to be played are recorded. Simply by replacing the disc with another, any music you care to imagine can be played. My goodness, what a simply delightful machine. Indeed, though their popularity has waned recently with the development of the gramophone, of course. Science and technology advance at such an overwhelming pace. What? Only tuppence for it, that ain't fair, you know it. The article is barely worth a penny, miss. I cannot offer more. Okay. Sounds like there's an argument brewing over by the counter. Am I right? Have you ever had a proper butcher's at? Oh no, I think I know who this is. I've seen all I need to see, young girl. It's Gina Lestrade. Wait, don't we know her? I'm sure I recognize her. Oh yes, it's the young lady. From Mr. McGilden's trial 2 months ago. Her name is Gina Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer. Runs her quest among large clouds, relieving the people of their purses. Was commonly called a pickpocket. Yep, I remember her. Golden Bennett, you lot! Hello, Mr. Lestrade. Hope you've been well. Eh? What? You remember me then, do you? Well, I remember being completely surrounded by smoke, that's for sure. So, what are you doing in here? Down and out like the rest of us, nothing to eat? Come to pop that black weasel, sorry coat, have you? What is it about this black uniform that makes everyone comment on it? Ah, good day. Was I much mistaken? You would be the young pickpocket who stole our experimental smoke grenade launcher. Ah, Mr. Sholmes! So you have something of value to pawn, do you? Well, let me see the article, and I shall negotiate with Mr. Windbake on your behalf. Pull the other one, I don't need help from some stuck-up D. Get out of my business, go on, or I'll make trouble for you. As you wish, Mr. Lestrade. I will happily remove myself from your presence. He's really done it. He's gone. I'm sorry, but as I said, there really is no room for negotiation here. What is that thing he has in his hand? Some kind of metal disc? And you, go on, leave me alone! Oh, Miss Lestrade, just pretend we aren't here. We shan't be offended in the slightest. Sasato-san can really stand her ground when she wants to. Whatever. Can we talk to Windibank and ask him what it is? Let's talk about the disc. Mr. Windibank, what exactly is this metal disc that Miss Lestrade has brought in? It seems to have hundreds of tiny little bumps on its surface. Oh, this is a music disc, you see? For use inside a music box. In a music box? What, you don't even know what a music box is, disc? You Eastern lot ain't too savvy, eh? I know what a music box is, I've just never seen one of these discs before. The small protrusions on the middle disc encode the tune to be played by the music box. You simply insert the disc and set the machine going, and beautiful music plays. It's so incredible. Tell us, what tune is on this disc? Well, I'm afraid I couldn't tell you that. There are so many different types of music boxes, eh? British-made, German, Swiss. I've no way of knowing which particular machine this disc was made for. Oh, I see. And that's it in a nutshell. I wouldn't have any customers for an item like this, even if the young lady forfeited it. Really, I'm already offering more than I should at a penny. That's a packet of lies! He told me he did. He said it was, well... He? Who? Never you mind it, it's just ain't right, that's all. That disc worth good money, I know it is. Well then, you'll have to try your luck at another pawnbroker's, won't you? Ugh! She's been in here before, of course, this little tattered chameleon. I see. And brought some dubious article or other with her every single time, I might add. Dubious? What are you trying to say? I'm an honest customer, me. So, is there something dubious about the discs she brought in today? Well, if only it were that simple. Sorry? What do you mean? What she actually brought in was a storage ticket. Ah, a storage ticket. So, Miss Lestrade has actually come to redeem an article from you today, is that right? Yeah, that's right. A girl like me has a lot of stuff what needs storing. Alright, yes, that's definitely dubious. The article in question would have been forfeited at midnight tonight, but as she gave me the ticket for it and repaid both the loan and the interest, I was obliged to return the article to her. But what was the article? Do tell us, Mr. Windbank. The little scamp is wearing it, ma'am. It's the overcoat that she redeemed. Oh. What? What's wrong with that? It fits, don't it? I mean, it's mine, so of course it does. So, what about the disc then? How does that come into all this? Oh, the disc is something else. A new article to pawn if the girl and I can agree a price. Okay. I'm confused. I thought you said that Miss Lestrade brought in a storage ticket today. It's really quite simple. Yes, the child brought me a storage ticket and the money owed on it, as you say. For this heavy black coat, which you returned to her care, as I'd understood it. That's right, yes. And rather unsurprisingly, as soon as the little ragamuffin put the thing on, she went rifling through the pockets. Oh, you mean... What? Don't you know it's rude to stare at a lady? Ah, I see. So it came from the pocket of the overcoat, did it? If you mean this disc, then yes, exactly, ma'am. So, I'm gonna guess Gina did not originally own this coat. And she immediately tried to pawn it. For quite a high price as well. This is all rather suspicious, I think. Give it up! I'm just trying to pawn something fun like anything else would. Miss Lestrade, may I ask who deposited the overcoat here in the first place? Well, me. It doesn't really appear to be your size. Me old man! It's me old man's, ain't it? Is it Miss Lestrade? Yes, this is definitely all rather suspicious. Out of my way, please. Who's that? Who is this? What the heck? Is this picture postcard English gentleman? Oh my. Good day to you, ladies, gentlemen. What's your problem, eh? There is no problem, as long as you remove yourself. I have a matter to discuss with the proprietor. Huh? And if you intend to make a problem of it, I shall see you outside, little girl, for the hiding you deserve. Okay, obvious. I ain't done talking with him yet. You think you're such a gent, you should know how to wait in line. Well, you're an impudent little brat, aren't you? There's a pickpocket. Eh? Who are you? How'd you know who I am? Question is, how do you not know who I am? Haven't the courtesy even to remember the faces of your victims, it seems. What? You may not? From you? Broker? Yes, sir. I believe this filthy pocket thief has just redeemed an article from you now. Yes, The article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once. Oh, my. And that's a lie. What are you trying to pull? Give me back my overcoat, you wastrel. Needless to say. Any music box discs, too. No, you can't have it. You just can't. It's the old man, so it was. Now it's mine. Goodness, Mr. Naruhodo. This is a very awkward situation. Yes, I think perhaps we should hear both sides of the story in a little more detail. Let's talk about you, Gina. Miss Lestrade, is what the gentleman is saying. What do you think? It's all lies, ain't it? Obviously. I swear on my life, I ain't never laid eyes on that dandy before. Let's hear it now, you little ragamuffin. You stole it, didn't you? That ticket you brought in here just now. No, I swear it. I swear to God. It was barely an hour ago. I was walking along the street, minding my own business. This little gutterling ran into me. I knew at once what had happened. I've been robbed yet again, I thought to myself. Those wretched pickpockets. Yet again? Oh yes. As you can see, I'm a man of impeccable style. This isn't the first time that I've been targeted by these back slum scoundrels. Now then, relinquish my overcoat. Come along now, Mr. Lestrade. Give the good gentleman his coat back. If you're gonna cause trouble, I shall have no choice but to call the police. Hold on! Why does everyone think it's me? Just look at this dandy cove, and you think I'm the dodgy one? I'm sorry, but no one's gonna believe you. Well, what about evidence? Yeah. Where's your evidence that I've stolen something, eh? Come on, let's see it. Oh, I have evidence, naturally. You what? Evidence that the article Miss Lestrade redeemed actually belongs to this gentleman? Of course! We need only consult Mr. Windibank's ledger to know the truth. We'll be able to look up the name of the person who deposited the article in the first place. Yes, brilliant! I'm very sorry, but I'm afraid that won't be possible. Oh! I'll never ask customers' names. That's a strict policy of mine. But why not? Well, now, as you can imagine, some of my customers have, circumstances to consider. A great many of them prefer to maintain their anonymity. Yes, I see. But then how can you know if an article belongs to the person asking you to redeem it? Oh, it's quite simple. Good sir. Might I trouble you for the watchword associated with the article in question? Of course, it's... Professor. Yes, that's right. And all the evidence we need. This gentleman is the rightful owner of the article. Without doubt. A watchword? Interesting. So, about these watchwords, Mr. Windibank, as I just explained, we'll never ask customers' names when they deposit items with me. There are many reasons why. Certain customers would like to keep their activities secret. Oh, what are you doing? That wasn't exactly a subtle glance at Mr. Sholmes now, was it? Great detectives have no dark secrets, not at all. Of course not. Oh, Moriarty. Oh no, you might be right. You might be right. Oh my gosh, yes. I just realized, yes. You might be right. You might be dealing with Moriarty. Yes, well, anyway, that's why I always ask for a watchword whenever I accept a new article. In many ways, it's like the secret combination of numbers used to unlock a vault. The date of deposit, a description, and a watchword to uniquely identify each item. And of course, then I give the storage ticket to the customer. When someone comes to redeem something, I ask for the ticket and the watchword. And if that someone tells you the correct watchword, you return the article? That's right, sir. Yes, just as soon as the requisite fee is paid. And I have supplied you with the information you require already. For the avoidance of doubt, the article in question is an overcoat, deposited 2 months ago on 15th of February. With the watchword of Professor. All perfectly correct information, sir. But how? Really, this is beyond a joke now. There is no further room for doubt. Hey, you wanna look at my armband, Gina? Would you ever look at, that's strange. Where's my armband gone? What's the problem? Something wrong? Don't suppose. You looking for this? Yes, but how? And when? And how again? got a talent for, haven't I? Diving. That's bordering on black magic. And it makes what I was about to say about my armband seem a little dull. So what you want to tell me about you then? Can we talk to this fine gentleman and ask his name, maybe? Picture postcard gentleman. Excuse me, but who are you? One would expect the inquirer to introduce himself first. Oh, clearly you are not British, so perhaps our ways are foreign to you. Oh, sorry, yes, we're from the Empire of Japan. We're studying here. Oh yes, Japan. I've heard talk of the place. What the heck? Its inhabitants live on some fiery, brown-colored soup, dressed up with exotic spices. You might be thinking of somewhere else? What was that theatrical gesticulation about? Perhaps. Anyway, if you are a gentleman, sir, you offer your own name first, before inquiring after the name of another. Of course, yes. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a lawyer. Well, a student of law, really. My name is Sasato Mikitoba. I am Mr. Naruhodo's assistant. I see. My name is Benedict. Yes. Eggert Benedict. Oh, are you serious? Yes, it was. You thought it was, but it was me, Dio. So he's Egg Benedict. Okay. Enchanté. He's so refined in how he holds himself and how he speaks, but that name is suspicious. Yeah! Now, to the matter at hand. What the? My overcoat! Return it at once. To someone with style to carry it off. Ugh, every move he makes, every breath he takes, I can't stand watching him. Why? That stung a bit, didn't it? So let that be an end to the matter. And thank you for your costume, Mr. Eggert Benedict, sir. Yep. With such reasonable rates of interest, I may even decide to come back. This is why I hate grown-ups. Just because I'm a diver, everyone thinks that makes me a lawyer. And the contents of the coat pocket, if you please, broker. But of course, sir, here is the disc for you. Just this one? Pardon, sir? I was expecting another. That is, I deposited another. Another disc? Oh dear. I forgot to inform you, sir, that what was deposited with me was merely the overcoat. The disc happened to be in one of the pockets, but I was completely unaware of it until now. So, guzzling, you're hiding more of what's rightfully mine, are you? Says who, eh? I don't know nothing about it. Very well. Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style. Wait a minute, that disc is mine. Ah! What do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal. Oh my, yes. There's blood on the disc. It's because of all those sharp little bumps. The man must have scratched his finger on them. Those poses are amazing. I found it first, alright? I mean, it belonged to me old man. So you're not having it. Oh, you take it. Me? If I hang on to it, they'll have it off me again. So you keep out of it. Miss Lestrade, why is this disc so important to her? The music box has been entered into the court record. Oh, great. This music which remains identified is stored on the disc by means of small partitions. Right. You there. In the black livery. Hand that disc to me at once, please. No, don't. He's lying. Grown-ups are all lawyers. What do I do now? How am I going to resolve this? Yeah, this has gone a bit beyond the pale here. Sholmes, help! Mr. Sholmes, what are you examining with such keen interest there? As you enjoy a bar of caramel, I see. So, you found me at last, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? After that young pickpocket sent me on my way, I was forced to lurk in the shadows. Cruelly ostracized as the rest of you partook in the jovial atmosphere fellowship. I had nothing to occupy my mind, but was too ashamed to let society see what my downfall had done to me. So feigning mock interest, I pretended to examine the tedious trinkets in this desolate place, whilst, as you shrewdly observed, gnawing on the only hand I have left, the 7% solution of caramel. 7% solution. Pray, do you claim to understand the depths of my despair, Mr. Naruhodo? But how could you? I was so lonely, so desperately lonely. Then why on earth can you rejoin the conversation? Things have gone from bad to worse here, you know. Yes, I overheard much of your conversation. Or rather, in my craving for contact, my ears devoured every word that was uttered. You really were sad, weren't you? Poor Mr. Sholmes. I feel simply awful for you. It would seem that my inferences are correct. Oh, surely you're not about to tell us that you've solved the entire case once again. Oh no, do we have a great deduction coming up? I'm smelling it. I'm smelling it. My dear madam, sometimes I wonder, will my genius for deduction be commoditized? How much could I pawn it for? It seems Mr. Sholmes has had another of his flashes of inspiration. But who knows if it will help to resolve the situation between Miss Lestrade and the mysterious gentleman. What's the right thing to do here? Do we have enough to listen to the deduction yet? Let's do it. I think it's time. Well, Mr. Lestrade, it would appear you find yourself in something of a predicament. Where the blazes have you been, eh? Pardon? When the lady's in trouble, the two gents supposed to be there to help. Straight away, not an hour later. Harsh. And who, pray tell, are you? Mr. Eggert Benedict, you have, in my eyes, a veritably encyclopedic array of curiosities about your person. Nevertheless, there are two immovable conclusions I have drawn. I beg your pardon. The first is this. The true reason for your visit to the pawnbroker today is something you have not yet revealed. And the second is this. A considerable crime is in contemplation, one you will orchestrate with intent to steal a vast sum of money. Well, Mr. Benedict, what say you to my deductions? How? He's turned as white as a hard-boiled egg. It would seem that once again, Mr. Sholmes has made a flawless deduction. Just who do you think you are, sir? Ah, yes, as I hoped. That is precisely the pained expression I was looking for. So, shall we begin? This time has come for yet another Sherlock Sholmes' logic and reasoning spectacular. Oh boy, the great deduction. The game is afoot. Topic 1. Mystery Man's Aim. First of all, we must ask ourselves what business you ventured to this pawnbrokery today. You claim to have followed this pickpocket, having had the redemption ticket stolen from you on the street. But that is most certainly a lie. The real truth is something quite different. As revealed by that which you hold in your hand. Yes, what brought you to this shop in the first place is the staff recruitment flyer. The piece of paper in your hand is a staff wanted advertisement from this very shop. Yet even the most unobservant soon realize that a man of your appearance has no need of such employ. In other words, there is some ulterior motive for your actions. The cane, which you unwittingly clutch to your person, exhibits an incontrovertible contradiction. What rot! I've had this cane for years. The contradiction of which I speak is, of course, the missing ferrule. The end of any walking cane would be terminated with a metal ferrule to protect the wooden tip. And yet, detailed analysis shows the wooden tip of the stick to be utterly bare. Therefore, there is only one conclusion. The rod that you hold in your hand, which appears to be a walking cane, is in fact no cane at all. You recall, sir, there's nothing wrong. And in your recalling, you will inadvertently facilitate the answer to the next conundrum to present itself. Namely, what is the truth behind this rod you bear? Yes, your reaction betrays the truth. The handle, which you evidently would like to conceal, is the key to understanding the riddle, you see. The moment I saw it, my suspicions were aroused. What walking cane demands such a stout handle, mused I? But of course, as I said, this is no walking cane. No, that rod is the broken end of a shovel. What? Are you insane? And now, having determined this undeniable truth, the conclusion is clear. Your true motive for coming here was to take employment at this establishment in order to excavate the ground beneath the premises. What a calculated crime you've conceived, sir. A wickedly calculated crime. To tunnel underneath the pawnbrokery. Topic 2. Great crime. Now, Mr. Benedict, let's continue. For we must expose the details of this elaborate crime you have in the planning. This is utterly absurd. You suggest that I, a gentleman, intend to excavate the ground beneath this pawnbrokery with a broken shovel? What on earth do you propose I could expect to find there? Some long-forgotten treasure, I suppose. Save for such a fanciful theory, what possible reason would I have to do as you say? Oh, but there is an ample reason. I'm sure only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. Ah, and your furtive glance is more telling than I could have hoped. What? Let us consider what would motivate a man to infiltrate a shop such as this and covertly dig beneath its floor. The answer is revealed by the council notice on the counter to which your eyes were inadvertently drawn. This letter gives notice of public works to be carried out in the local area. And according to the enclosed plan of the upcoming sewage works, beneath this shop runs a sewer that adjoins another, one that runs underneath the bank on the opposite side of the road. This madness has entered the sewers now, has it? By excavating the ground beneath our feet, you would gain access to the waterway. It flows in very close proximity to the vault of the financial institution opposite. What are you... In summary, sir, you devised a master plan to pull off an elaborate bank robbery by dint of the underground tunnels. Master plan? Which brings us at last to the final chapter of this lurid scheme. What plunder did the thief hope to make off from the underground vault of the bank? Are you quite serious? Having consulted with Scotland Yard some days ago, I happen to know the answer. Naturally, the answer is no secret to you, is it, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, this picture postcard tells us all we need to know. The postcard of the Great Exhibition? I'm afraid you've quite lost me. Currently, in the final stages of preparation, the Great Exhibition will soon be underway, and the government has provided extra funds to complete its centerpiece, the Crystal Tower. Funds that currently sit in the vaults of the bank on the other side of this road. Pardon? Yes, the considerable crime you've been contemplating is the theft of that which sits in the vault of that bank, the special reserve funds for the Great Exhibition. Of course, that is top secret police information, so keep it under your hat, please. Pictures at an exhibition is a Mussorgsky piece. This concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this pawnbroking puzzle. Yep, I'm sure he's 100% accurate with no flaws. As usual. Mr. Sholmes? Well, Mr. Naruhodo? An impressively upbeat deduction for Detective racked with loneliness, would you not agree? Was it true what you said about the bank over the road and what it has in its vault? Indeed, though few know of its existence, it is one of the few government's most closely guarded secrets. Gregson told me, in the strictest confidence. So you just told a shop full of people about it. Emerson, Lake, and Palmer did a prog cover album. Oh, okay. But you just announced it to everyone here, rather loudly, in fact. Ah! And if it's such a big secret, how would Mr. Benedict have come to find out about it? There could be but one explanation for that. Clearly it is because the man is a criminal. But what if he didn't know anything about the money at the vault? If he is a criminal, as you said, then buying a brand new shovel is sure to be the first thing he does now that you reveal the secret. Oh. Or if he doesn't, maybe Mr. Windibank will. He already has plenty of shovels here after all. Oh my life! I assure you I'm not so unscrupulous. Well, hopefully this has taught you a valuable lesson. Sensitive information must be handled with the utmost of care. One can never be sure that someone privy to secrets won't disclose them. Once the word is out, it's out. Perhaps I'll think twice before confiding in you next time, Mr. Sholmes. An excellent idea, Mr. Nalahodo. An excellent idea. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, you know what to do, I'm sure. Yes, let's continue to that. Let's listen to that great deduction again and see if we can massage it in shape. Very well then. Let us start once more from the beginning. Of Sherlock Sholmes' magnificent logic and reasoning spectacular. Here we go again. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Alright. So... okay. Followed. There's a ticket stolen from you. Right. But that is most certainly a lie. And the truth is different. So let's find out what the truth actually is. It's revealed by that which you hold in your hand. Is it, though? Is it, though? Not the staff recruitment flyer, I'm sure. So, by Mr. Sholmes' reasoning, Mr. Benedict came here in order to apply for a job so he could dig down through the floor. Yes, and attempt to tunnel into the sewers to gain access to the money in the vault of the bank across the road. But he wouldn't get very far with a broken shovel, would he? No, I think it's fair to say his motives lie elsewhere. The question is where? What did bring Mr. Benedict here at this particular point in time? Let's look around. The cane? The recruitment flyer? Is there anything around that's of interest? His stylish hat? I doubt it. Is there anything... Wait, what's on the other side of the scribbled writing? Let's look at this. Oh, look at all the scribbled notes on the back of the flyer here. I don't believe it. What is it? Listen to what it says. Name, Gino Lestrade. Height, 5'2". Green cap, scruffy waistcoat, grubby white shirt, blue satchel, ragged. It's a detailed description of Miss Lestrade. Goodness! There's even a sketch of her, hat and all. Although if he showed it to her, she'd fire that smoke grenade launcher in his face for sure. And look, the details of this shop have been written down here too. Windibank's Pawnbrokery, Baker Street. Redemption deadline, 15th of April. Which is today's date. Why would Mr. Benedict have all that information scrawled on the back of that piece of paper? Info about Miss Lestrade. Yep. Look at his cane. That's a proper English gentleman's cane, isn't it? Look at the beautifully polished brass on the handle. Yes, but Mr. Sholmes is right. It's not the sort of handle you usually see on a cane. Perhaps it's the latest London fashion. I mean, that's just guesswork, of course. Perhaps you could adopt a cane, Mr. Naruhodo. Rather, might suit you. I have a feeling it might argue with the sword around my waist. How about your hat? That silk top hat is whiter than white. Only an English gentleman could hope to carry off something so bright. But it looks so incongruous with the black overcoat, don't you think? Perhaps it's the latest London fashion. I mean, that's just guesswork, of course. How about it, Mr. Naruhodo? I think you look very fetching in a white top hat. Well, you know, I think it might look rather incongruous with my black university uniform, so... I like that their conversations are very similar on these two topics. Alright, anyway. It's gotta be this.
Take that!
Is the info about Miss Lestrade. Yes, what brought you to this shop in the first place is the info about Miss Lestrade. Quite so, my dear fellow. It would appear that the writing and sketch on the reverse of the flyer pertain to the pickpocket Miss Lestrade and to witness to Winterbeck's pawnbrokery. Ugh. You originally told us that you had merely given chase after Miss Lestrade stole the redemption ticket from you. But that, sir, is a thinly veiled lie. It is the information on the back of the flyer that led you here today, by which I mean here to Winterbeck's pawnbrokery, and today, the redemption deadline of that overcoat. So, you waited outside of the young girl matching the description you have written down to arrive. And you have gone to some lengths to hide the reason for your pursuit of Miss Lestrade. In other words, there is some ulterior motive for your actions. The cane... The cane is a contradiction. Is it, though? Like, of course... No, it's not. It's the, what's a ferrule? It's the metal cap commonly found on the end of the cane, Mr. Naruhodo. Ah, the bit that makes the nice clacking sound on the pavement? Yes, exactly. And Mr. Sholmes is right. It appears to be missing on this cane. But it doesn't actually look broken, does it? No, it doesn't. Though the gentleman certainly did recoil when Mr. Sholmes identified the cane as suspicious. In other words, there's some secret about the cane that Mr. Benedict would rather we don't know. Alright, so it's not missing ferrule. Is it the fact that there's the letters AG on it? The initialing? Look here, Mrs. Otto. There are some letters on the handle. Ah, yes, those must be initials, I think. In the West, it's customary for people to engrave their belongings with the first letters of their names. So Herlock Sholmes would be HS, you mean? That's right. And the initials on this cane, obviously. Oh, AG? Why does it feel as though that's not quite right? Well, we know why, right? Clearly the problem is his stylish hat. That's what's got him upset, right? It is. I don't think this white top hat suits the man, do you? No, not at all. The more I look at it, the more something strikes me as suspicious about it. I think perhaps it's not so much that it strikes you as suspicious, but rather that the hat is just striking. I suppose you're probably right. Perhaps the hat isn't what we're looking for. What about the missing ferrule part? The end of this cane is just bare wood. Yes, and according to Mr. Sholmes' deduction, this is where the shovel blade would have been attached. Couldn't it just be that the tip fell off? I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo, but I couldn't possibly speculate. No, yeah. There we go. It's the initial.
Take that!
Here we go. The contradiction of which I speak is, of course, the initialing. A most astute observation, wouldn't you say, Mr. Eggert Benedict? You're led to believe, sir, your initials are EB. Yet in a most possessive manner, you have in your grasp a cane bearing the initials AG. An incontrovertible contradiction indeed, would you not agree? No, you're wrong. The cane isn't... You said before that you'd had the cane for years. So don't try to tell us that you just borrowed it from a friend or found it in the park. In short, though you hold yourself to be a gentleman, you have withheld your true name. Ricosa. Something wrong. Well, in your recording, you would advertently facilitate the answer of the next conundrum to present itself. Namely, what is the truth behind this rod you bear? Yes, your reaction betrays the truth. Oh, is he gonna... The handle, which you evidently would like to conceal as the key to understanding. Let's consider the bare bones of what's happened here. Mr. Strahd redeemed the fine-looking overcoat, and now a mysterious man has appeared, introducing himself with a fake name and claiming that the overcoat belongs to him. But we know that he actually identified Mr. Strahd from a written description, which suggests that everything else he's told us is untrue. So what we need to do here is somehow prove that the overcoat cannot possibly belong to him. Is the gentleman really the owner of the overcoat? So what do we got? The handle. Why is he concealing the handle? It is a rather strange handle for sure. Yes, certainly unusual for a gentleman's cane. You expect to see such a cane being twirled charmingly by its owner as he skips merrily down the street. You do? Something has just occurred to me. We have a shovel back in our office, don't we? Yes, you're right. And its handle is exactly the same shape as this cane's. Here we go. I'm starting to wonder if it's not actually a cane at all, but a spade. Mr. Sholmes' deductions are curiously compelling, aren't they? I don't know, why does the stylish hat keep coming up, though? Because, I mean, Sholmes is always wrong, right? So, this can't be the actual problem. That would be kind of, wait. Oh, hey, a split seam. Oh, the seam on the shoulder there is coming apart, look. So it is. Do you know, a moment ago when Mr. Benedict was surprised by something that was said, I thought I heard him make a rather strange noise. It sounded a bit like a tiny growl. But now I think it was probably the sound of this seam ripping open. If you look closely, it does seem to be very tight fit. The sleeves are stretched to bursting, and you wouldn't have a hope of fastening it at the front. If you were to run around in it, I'm sure the whole thing would fall apart. That I'd like to see. Sorry? So how can we make Mr. Benedict run around? She's really giving this some thought. So there we go, we got it. Let's talk about the hat again. I've been looking closely at this hat for some time now, and it suddenly occurred to me that a bright white hat like that might just be the hat for me. Do you like it, do you? I think I do, don't I? Well, in that case, you could see if there isn't something similar among Mr. Windbig's forfeited items. After we've completed our investigation, we must focus on the task at hand at the moment. Okay, does that conclude the arc of the stylish hat? I hope so. Yes, they are curiously something.
Take that!
We got it. The split seam, which you evidently would like to conceal, is the key to understanding this riddle, you see. Ugh. Yes, because the overcoat is rather obviously a poor fit. Having forced it over your broad shoulders, the seam is already breaking apart. My suspicions were aroused from the outset. When you so boldly lied about your name and so boldly waylaid this pickpocket. This catalogue of untruths has all been for very one specific purpose. To steal the article that the young girl redeemed from Mr. Windbag. But what really irks me is this. The considerable crime I initially imagined has been considerably curtailed. To abscond with a redeemed item. But why? But why, though? Right? Oh boy, the music's getting all, epic now. Now, Mr. Benedict, let's continue. We must expose the details of this elaborate crime you've been planning. This is utterly absurd. Oh, wait. You suggest that I, a gentleman, designed a wheeze to fill some tawdry article of pawnage? Have you forgotten that I redeemed the article in the proper manner using the watchword? Had I not been the one to deposit it in the first place, how could I possibly have known the relevant details? Snipper? Oh, but the watchword can be discovered. As you are only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. Ah, and your furtive glance is more telling than I could have hoped. What? Right. Let us continue. Consider how one might come to learn a secret watchword relating to the pawn property of another. The method is revealed by the council notice of the counter to which your eyes were inadvertently drawn. No, it wasn't. The direction of the deduction must change rather dramatically now, I think. Yes, no more talk of tunneling into the sewers. Which is a pity, because it all sounded rather exciting. Anyway, wasn't that a Sherlock Holmes story? That somebody was, like, working as a part-time person somewhere trying to tunnel into something? I could swear that's a Sherlock Holmes story. Yes, Professor. If you didn't know that word, Mr. Windibank would never allow you to redeem the article. Or, looking at it another way, if you did know that word, Mr. Windibank would allow you to redeem the article whether it was yours or not. So the question is, could this gentleman have found the watchword out somehow? Professor, right? Let's see. So we have the gun, the council notice, the notelet. Anything else? Why is there a picture of a dog? That's a real picture of a dog, too. Let's look at the council notice. Yeah, I'm sure that there's a story like that. Baker Street Works is the title. Yes, and it does mention Sewerage Works, as Mr. Sholmes said. Oh, and specifically mentions that tonight's sale of the confectionery shop in the corner won't be affected. Case solving first, confectionery later, Mr. Naruhodo. Ugh, curse my overly expressive face. Let's look at the old lamp. This looks to be quite an old lamp, but it's obviously been well looked after, and there's oil in it too. In other words, it's still in use. Yes, it would appear so. But as for how it could be related to Mr. Benedict knowing the watchword for the pawned article, I have no idea. That makes two of us. The revolver. This is Mr. Windibank's gun. Yes, loaded with only one bullet, he said. It would appear that being a pawnbroker is a very life-or-death profession. That might just be this particular establishment. See the notelet. Look at this, Mrs. Sato. Oh, that appears to be a memo that Mr. Windibank has scribbled to himself. Let's see. What does it say? Oh, Professor. Mr. Windibank must make a note of the watchwords his customers give him right before their eyes. And in an alarmingly clear script as well. Oh dear, I don't know where to look. Who knows what other secrets I might see? So there we go. I think it's fairly obvious what it is then.
Take that!
Yes, the Red-Headed League. Yep. Yep, I remember that one now. Yep, the Red-Headed League. The method is revealed by the notelet on the counter to which your eyes were inadvertently drawn. Yes, the broker here follows the same procedure whenever a customer comes to redeem an article. He asks the customer for the watchword and notes down the response uttered on a notelet he has to hand. Then he consults his ledger and confirms whether or not the watchword matches that of the article in question. I would expect nothing less of a diligent pawnbroker. But his diligence clearly has its advantages. Or disadvantages. What are you talking about? It is increasingly apparent that you were present in the shop before your accusation against Mr. Strahd. In all likelihood, you followed her inside and then observed her talking to Mr. Windibank. When the diligent broker made a note of the watchword, as is his common practice, you observed him writing the word professor on the notelet beside the ledger. And that, sir, was the master plan you devised to steal the pawned article from the young Mr. Strahd. Master plan? Which brings us at last to the final chapter of this lurid scheme. Why would you go to such lengths to redeem that particular article from this pawnbroker? Are you quite serious? One little fitting overcoat hardly seems to justify the effort, much as a worthless music box disc. But naturally, you had very good reason to make them yours, didn't you, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, this picture postcard tells us all we need to know. No. The articles we're talking about are the overcoat and the music box, just that it was in one of the pockets, which according to Mr. Winterbank is the worth a penny. And yet this man went to such lengths to steal them. Why? I wonder if perhaps we already have the evidence we need to explain it, Mr. Naruhodo. Could we? Really? Better have a thorough look through all the evidence we've collected so far. Middle disc. Okay, let's look at it. Oh, what is this? Wait, for McGilded? McGilded? Oh my. Oh, there's a little scrap of paper stuck onto the reverse side of the disc. Look, and a scribbled word or two. It looks like somebody's name. From McGilded. McGilded? It couldn't be. But it is, Mr. Naruhodo. A name I shall never forget, for as long as I live. But why? Why is his name on this? On the reverse? Yep, it reads for McGilded. Okay. My, how the plot is thickened.
Take that!
You see, this music box disc tells us all we need to know. What's that on the back? It reads for McGilded. Ah, Mr. Magnus McGilded, the unfortunate philanthropist who perished in curious circumstances at the Old Bailey 2 months ago. A prominent man in London, though his loan-mongering demonstrated a distinct lack of scruples. So, you're an associate of his, are you? Or perhaps a subordinate? Mr. McGilded? Mr. McGilded was a man of unusually small stature. In fact, he was precisely the right size for that overcoat that you've squeezed yourself into. Ugh. Your true identity remains a shrouded mystery, Mr. Eggert Benedict, but the final conclusion here is crystal clear. The reason you came to this pawnbrokery today was to retrieve an article left behind by the late Magnus McGilded. Ah! To acquire an item deposited by Mr. McGilded. Solved. Oh yeah. Deduction complete. Elementary. Well, Mr. Magnus McGilded. Not a name I expected to hear in these circumstances. Mr. Sholmes, I'm afraid there's something very troubling on my mind. Pray tell, Mrs. Otto. Well, according to what Mr. Winterbank told us earlier, today was the final day on which the coat could have been redeemed, was it not? Yes, ma'am, that is correct. Today would be precisely 2 months since it was first deposited. Well, today is 15th of April, so 2 months ago today would have been 15th of February, sir. That's right. It's all carefully recorded in my ledger. Deposited at 10:30 p.m., I see. What? But that suggests... Yes, Miss 15th of February is precisely the day on which the omnibus murder took place. And 10:30 in the evening is precisely the time at which the terrible events were unfolding. Suggestive is not the word. It seems the matter is entirely beyond coincidence. You are, of course, at liberty to make whatever outlandish deductions you choose. However, I must insist you hand over the music box disc now. Uh-oh. It would be a terrible shame for you to return to your native land in a box. What do I do? Hand over the disc or no? No! There are some things a man must protect at all costs. It's maybe one of those things. Then again, it may not. Mr. Winterbank, this is my shop. I can't allow any harm to come to my customers. If that would happen, I should have to take my own life. Mr. Winterbank, no! Alright, that's enough. Oh. Inspector Gregson. Inspector? That's right, Sunshine. The alarm was raised on one of our dedicated emergency lines. We got here as fast as we could. Now what's all this about then, eh? Oh, praise be, you're here at last. I was moments away from forfeiting my own life at my very own establishment. This has gotten very complicated very quickly. It would seem you have the upper hand. Right, you lot have some explaining to do. I don't appreciate being bothered with some petty argy-bargy. Petty? Mr. Winterbank very nearly met with his end. Yeah, by his own gun as far as I can tell. Oh dear. And the whole lot of blitting could make with this end if I don't get to the bottom of this case I'm supposed to be working on. What on earth is the case, Inspector? Spare no detail, Gleason. I might have said a little too much. No matter, it's nothing to do with you lot. Anyway, sir, you're gonna have to come with me down to the station. But of course, Inspector. Ah! He's getting away! Get after him, lads! Whistle the beat officer, too. Sir! Been a spate of thefts at pawn shops around here recently. So I fitted emergency buttons underneath the counters for brokers to let us know when there's trouble. Oh, Inspector, I was very worried there for a while. Very worried indeed. Now then, Mr. Permanently in mourning. Oh, yes? But taking that whatever it is in McGilden's down to the yard, thank you very much. So hand it over. Oh, yes, of course. No, don't give it to him! It's mine, it is, it's mine! I'm sorry, miss, but anything belonging to McGilded has to be taken in as evidence now. As evidence? If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. Gregson to the rescue. And so we handed Mr. McGilden's disc over to Inspector Gregson, and were summarily turfed out of the shop and onto the street. I like that there hasn't technically been a case yet starting. This is very different. Like, nobody's gotten murdered yet. There we go. 15th of April, Baker Street. See? That's why I hate grown-ups. All they do is feed you a pack of lies and take stuff away from you. Really, Mr. Straub, tell me, is that overcoat keeping you warm? What? Oh my, surely you were given that. Yeah, the D let me keep it, after I looked daggers at him long enough. I went through the pockets and then said, go on then, have it, before telling me to scamper. Always pays off giving people that look like you hate them. I can't help feeling that it's going to get you into serious trouble one day. What I really wanted was that nice shiny disc of mine. The music box disc? But Mr. Winterbank said it was practically worthless. I think I'm going to go and have another bash. Give him a long old stare. I think not, Mr. Straub. We shouldn't have been the Winterbanks again today. Why not? It's all fair. It can't be helped, I'm afraid. The police are investigating the scene now and taking a statement from Mr. Winterbank. But that disc of mine! I had the ticket for this coat, and it was in this coat's pocket. And there should be something else in all. That's what the rotten cove said, ain't it? Yes, he did mention something about another article, didn't he? So she got the ticket from McGilden. She pickpocketed him, didn't she? Well, then it's mine too, whatever it is. Now she's really pushing her luck. Here's the straw. I don't think it's time to admit defeat. You've had your haul for the day. Yeah, and it's all your fault, Sholmes. So what are your plans now? Will you dine with us this evening? Eh? Iris would be delighted to cook, I'm sure. I might entertain you with a modest violin recital. No, cha. Oh. Why would I come round your place, eh? You lost your head or something? Oh dear, she's gone. Having reviled on me quite unnecessarily, I might add. I can't help wondering if perhaps she might turn up anyway. Interesting. When she's had a chance to calm down, I think there's a good chance she'll decide to come. Very well then. Go inform Iris to the place for our potential guests at the dinner table this evening. And one more thing. I should be glad of your company later too. Sorry? I believe I'll have a rather splendid surprise to show you. Oh, how exciting! What is it? You shall have to wait and see, Mr. Sato. Until later, then. I think we already looked at everything that can be looked at, so... should we go to our legal consultancy? What to do? Can it really be that we've been in Great Britain for 2 months already? Yes, it's gone by in a flash, hasn't it? And what an English gentleman you've trailed off there, Mr. Sato-san. Oh, I'm so sorry. When I thought it through, I realized it's not all true, actually. I simply don't feel that any Britishness has really rubbed off on you. Nor you, to be honest. Well, that's obviously because... Yes, I know. Without a doubt. It's your kimono. It most certainly stands out. I do adore the attire of English ladies. It's quite delightful. But somehow, I just don't feel ready to abandon my Japanese dress just yet. I wonder how Sato-san would look in Western clothes. That'd be interesting to see. I'm sure we'll see that then before the everything's over, said and done, huh? Oh, I wish we could look at the shovel again. Alright, well I guess we're going back to Sholmes' suite. "15th of April, 3:46 p.m. Sholmes' suite." Ah, Susie and Bruno! Come in, come in! Good afternoon, Iris. Thank you so much for breakfast this morning. Oh, don't mention it! Goodness, look at the time already! Busy as always? I am! I'm preparing everything for dinner this evening! Already? You're obviously cooking something special, are you? Oh, yes! After all, we have a special guest joining us! Guess who it is? Go on! You'll never guess! Look at those little eyes of hers shining. Oh dear. It is awkward when you already know the answer, isn't it? It's Ginny! Isn't that exciting? Oh, what a surprise! Yes, that's wonderful news. Wow, Iris seems overjoyed with the idea. I can't wait to learn some pickpocketing tips from a real professional. Oh yes, that does sound like fun. I'm not sure that's entirely appropriate. Are you, Mr. Naruhodo? By the way, Iris, what's Mr. Sholmes up to? Oh, nothing. Hurley? Oh, he's been like that ever since he got back. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. I beg that you won't speak to me. Sorry? I don't know who you are, but kindly take your leave. As you can see, I'm not here. I don't know how to respond to that. I do apologize. When he gets like this, he's completely oblivious to everything. Yes, I see. Really, he behaves just like a child sometimes, he really does. Mr. Sholmes and Iris have something of a parent-child relationship, don't they? Yes, except that Iris is clearly the parent here. Come to think of it, I wonder where her real parents are. What's the matter, Bruno? You have ever such a funny look on your face. Oh, no, it's nothing. I know what it is! Why does this girl live here with Mr. Sholmes? You're wondering. Am I right? How? How did you... Hey, oh, Bruno, I can read you like a book. This girl is dangerous. Don't worry. You can ask me anything. I won't mind. Well, first, what do you think about my armband? Would you mind if I showed you this, Iris? It's just a boring old thing, really, but... Oh, I don't really like boring things. It looks like Japanese modesty is easily misinterpreted by young Western children. I mean, who does like boring things? No one wants to be shown something boring. Come to think of it, you're always introducing things with, "This is boring, but it's a bad habit. You should stop it." I'll be sure to let the entire population of the Empire of Japan know on my return. So, by Ginny, you mean Miss Lestrade, the young woman from the McGilded case 2 months ago, right? Yes! Who else stole my experimental smoke grenade launcher? Although, after that trial, I invited her back here and we had dinner together. And now we're the best of friends! Oh, what a lovely tale. Yes, now if I bump into her on the street, she runs away as fast as she can. Oh. And I chase after her down the back alleys. Interesting idea of friendship. And then I let her have the latest color of smoke grenade I've developed. Oh. There are so many beautiful colors in the world. Ginny wants me to make a whole rainbow. I suppose this means you've let Mr. Strahd keep the smoke grenade launcher, have you? Yes, that's right. I'd got bored of it anyway. Hurley always reacts the same way when I shoot him with it now. Poor Hurley. Oh, I can't wait for Ginny to arrive. It's been too long since she came over. I'm so excited. I just hope she does actually come. Let's talk about your living with Sholmes. Why do you live with Sholmes, young child? I'm sure you've been wondering why it is that I live here with Hurley, haven't you? Well, it has crossed my mind that and where are your real parents? My mommy and daddy aren't with me anymore. Mommy passed away when I was born, and at around the same time, my father, well, he had to go to a faraway land because of one of the cases he and Hurley were working on. Oh, wait a minute. Did you say he and Hurley? Yes. Daddy and Hurley were always solving mysterious cases together. She didn't mention that before. Oh, so her dad is John Watson. Well, kind of. He wrote them all up in his diaries. That's what's in the metal chest over there. Really? He recorded them all? So, you mean it's true? Mr. Sholmes really did have a partner with whom he tackled some of the most taxing cases? Oh yes, I mean, it's always nice to have one, isn't it? So Mr. Sholmes' partner was your father? Exactly. Hurley told me I wasn't allowed to look in the chest, but that only made me want to look even more. So I opened it up and found your father's memoirs. Yes, so I asked Hurley, who wrote these? He nearly fell off his chair. But then he told me that's when I found out that the author of all these accounts was my father. So Iris's father was Mr. Sholmes' partner. I've practically lived with Hurley all my life. I was tiny when he took me in. So it came as quite a shock when Hurley told me he wasn't really my daddy. I mean, it must have done. I wonder why Mr. Sholmes chose to tell you, and at such a young age. Hurley says it's because he wouldn't have been able to hide it from me. Oh. Well, having lived with Hurley all these years, you might say that his ways have rubbed off on me. There are some things I can just see. Especially lies. I almost know when people know lying before they open their mouths sometimes. Right. Anyway, I was so fascinated when I read Daddy's diaries. That's what inspired me to write The Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes, actually. I'd always assumed Mr. Sholmes simply told you all these thrilling stories. Oh no, Hurley's hopeless like that. He forgets everything. As soon as he solved a case, it all but vanishes from his mind. Oh, I see. The other day, it was so embarrassing. As usual, he totally forgot about the case he just solved. So the very next day, he gathered together all the people involved and proceeded to solve the case again. It was quite a shock for everyone. You can say that again. You share your father's surname, don't you, Iris? That's right, Wilson. Daddy is Dr. John H. Wilson. Yep. I learned from his diaries that he's a doctor of medicine, you see. That's what prompted me to study and study, so that I could earn a doctorate as well. Iris's father, who went to some distant land, and is a doctor by the name of John H. Wilson. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in the case. The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Oh no, that's right. Visiting professor of medicine at Imperial Yume University, and the man who, in the most bizarre of circumstances, lost his life just before we left Japan. Oh, that's rough. Mr. Sato. Yes, perhaps we shouldn't pursue this conversation any further at this time. I think that would be for the best. Ah, my dear fellows. How good to see you. Mr. Sholmes. Wherever did you not make your presence known to me before? Well, no matter now. So, how the devil are you? We've been with you for most of the day. Goodness, really? Do tell me, Mr. Sholmes, is your violin unscathed? My violin? Whatever you're talking about, dear madam. Oh, never mind that now. I have something far more interesting to show you. Behold, my dear fellows. Oh, another music box disc? No, not another disc, Mr. Sato. This is the one Gregson demanded we hand over as evidence, Mr. McGilded's disc. Oh my! Then, what's it doing here? You know, at times just enough to know. I think that though I have an undeniable term for detection, I may well be even more adept at larceny. Oh, that would be wonderfully exciting. I'd be your pickpocketing assistant, and Runo could be your go-to lawyer if we ever got caught. Right. Plus, Susie has such a beautiful handwriting, she could write all our menacing crime notifications. Yes, I'd be delighted. I'm just gonna pretend this conversation never happened, I think. Okay. I don't understand. How did that disc come to be in your possession? I thought Inspector Gregson took it back to Scotland Yard. Quite correct. And that sort of uncompromising attitude is precisely why I always carry some of this. That's a bar of caramel, Mr. Sholmes. It says Sholmes Caramel. Your one and only friend in times of loneliness, if I'm not mistaken. If you would humor me, my dear fellows, cast your minds back to when the good detective confiscated the disc. We're taking that whatever it is at McGilded's down to the yard, thank you very much. So hand it over. Oh yes, of course. The police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow. We have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. For the briefest of moments, I had the disc in my hand, did I not? Yes, you did, but I still don't understand. It was at precisely that moment that I summoned my one and only friend into action. I pressed the disc into a pair of bars. Like this. That's amazing. The disc and all the minuscule protrusions have made an image in the caramel. Indeed, this caramel is quite exceptional. I developed it myself, you know. Suitably soft for making impressions, but resistant to melting. The result of a precisely controlled solution. How extraordinary. Carrying a pair of these on one's person frequently proves very useful indeed. Take a house key, for example, a simple press, and its unique form is duplicated. I can enter anyone's property at will, and never without high sucrose nourishment. Yes, it sounds illegal. From the image, I was able to create this. I confess I was most curious to know what manner of music would issue from the disc when played. Do tell us then, Mr. Sholmes. What music does the disc play? Well, unfortunately, I have no idea. No idea? None whatsoever. Are you familiar with the workings of a music box, my dear fellows? No, I'm afraid not. Oh goodness, you don't know, Runo? Inside a music box is a special metal piece called a comb. That's what produces the sound. Small protuberances pluck the different teeth of the comb as they rotate past it, making the different notes. The first music boxes to be invented used a rotating cylinder with protuberances on it. Got it. But over time, a new type of player was produced, which uses discs such as these. With that development, the popularity of music boxes spread far and wide, all around the globe. Why exactly? Because the discs are easy to produce, and can be interchanged to facilitate the playing of different tunes. There are many great firms in Europe now manufacturing music boxes as a result. It is wonderful to be able to enjoy music, even when no performer is present. But it is the very success of the invention that means we are now presented with an insurmountable problem. What do you mean? As you may imagine, the construction of one firm's music box does not match that of another, and we have no way of knowing in which music box this particular disc was designed to be played. There is no resolution to this problem, I'm afraid. It's quite intractable. Ah, I see. So that's why... Naturally, I tested the disc in these few music boxes I have at my disposal. But as you can hear, to no avail. The results were equally unsatisfactory in this one. So, I am presently engaged in acquiring an example of all the music boxes ever made in Europe. Every single one? That's early for you. Always taking things too far. But my dear girl, an unsolved riddle is quite repugnant to my constitution. But surely all the different types in Europe will amount to a huge volume of music boxes, won't it? Yes, that is certainly true. In the worst case, I shall just have to ask you to vacate the attic room. What? Oh gosh. Let's talk about McGilded. Magnus McGilded. Not the name I expected to hear again so soon. Yes, it's only been 2 months since that grisly case. Mr. McGilded perished within hours of the trial's conclusion. Was it the curse of the Reaper? No one knows still now. The omnibus was reduced to a pile of ash. Not a shred of evidence remained. And with the man's death, the truth about the murder in which he was so intimately involved was buried. Even though we successfully established Mr. McGilded's innocence in the trial, the newspapers are still claiming that it remains an unsolved case. The murder of the brickmaker, Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. In the end, the truth of the matter remains a mystery. We still have no idea what really happened that night. And although Mr. McGilded was found not guilty through my defense, I still don't know if that was the right judgment or not. Probably not. It would appear the case is not yet closed. Well, it's time I started getting things ready for dinner, I think. Ginny will be here before long. Thank you, Iris. Oh, well, you must let me help you then. Of course, Susie. There's plenty to do. I think I should investigate the condition of my faithful performing partner. Now then, where did I leave it? Let this be a lesson to you, Mr. Sholmes. Never leave anything too precious with the pawnbroker. Yes, you may be right. Oh, that reminds me of something Mr. Winterbank said before. He said that he had a manuscript of Iris's in pawn, didn't he? Did he? Yes, he definitely mentioned it. Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom, were his words, I believe. So you heard about that, did you? I expect you were as incensed as I was. Oh yes, the idea of such a wonderful story languishing in Mr. Winterback's storerooms, gathering dust! My dear madam, I'm quite sure I told you already. The pawnbroker's storeroom is the safest place for it, more secure than a bank's vault. And what about your Stradivarius, Hurley? Was that safe and secure? Well, there may be the occasional mix-up, caused by a certain impetuous someone not too far from me now. Do you have any idea how long it took me to write that Baskerville story, Hurley? Oh, it sounds so exciting! The Hound of the Baskervilles? I should love to read it. Wait, how'd you know the full name? How'd you know the full name? Oh! What's going on here? Why does it feel like an icy chill just swept through the room? Yeah, how do you know that? Susie, what did you just say? You said The Hound of the Baskervilles. But how could you know the full title? Well, that's... Uh-oh. That's because Mr. Sato was such a great fan of all the stories about Mr. Sholmes, of course. But Bruno, the Hound of the Baskervilles, has never been published. What? When I showed Hurley the manuscript, he told me that I wasn't allowed to publish it yet. I don't understand. That's why he said that he'd keep it safe, until it was the right time for the story to be made public, you see. So that's why the manuscript is at Windibanks? And yet, how could Susie here know its title? Well, Hurley, what's going on? Ah. What is it, Mr. Sholmes? It would appear our guest has arrived. Is it the telegram? Is it related to the telegram that she got this morning? Mr. Strahd. This was a bad idea. I knew it weren't welcome. I'm going. No, wait! Mr. Strahd! I've been eagerly awaiting your arrival. Haven't we, Iris? Oh yes, just wait there, Jenny. We'll have everything ready in a jiffy. Come along, Susie. Right, of course. It's a pleasure to see you here, Mr. Strahd. Please, make yourself at home. Don't stand in the doorway, my dear girl. Come along in. What say you to some medicine? I won't take no for an answer. Mendelssohn. Meddlesome it is, then. Oh, the cat. That evening, Iris prepared a solemn meal that was even more delicious than usual. Mr. Sholmes' violin performance was in no way meddlesome, and Gina, as we came to call her, taught us all how to steal things from one another without being noticed. Everyone thoroughly enjoyed themselves. Well into the night. Still don't have a murder yet. Or anything really too crazy. 15th of April, 9:34 p.m., Naruhodo's Legal Consultancy. That was a very enjoyable evening, wasn't it? Oh yes, Iris's cooking was truly divine, and I feel as though I can still hear the enchanting strains of Mr. Sholmes' violin even now. Best of all, I bet I could steal the glasses from his lordship's face next time we're in court. Let's not do that. Naruhodo-san, could I consult with you about something? I wonder. What's the matter, Susato-san? It's about the telegram I received. Ah, the one that arrived first thing this morning, I suppose. I've been summoned. What? Summoned? What do you mean? The telegram was from the Lord Chief Justice's office. Lord Strongheart has asked to see me. The Lord Chief Justice? When? Tomorrow morning. What? Then we have to start preparing at once. Oh no, that won't be necessary, Naruhodo-san. I've been summoned alone. Alone? What on earth for? I have no idea. I suppose I shall find out tomorrow. What's all this about? Whatever it is, it's making me feel very uneasy. I like it. Objection. Igiari, right? That's the Japanese objection. Oh, who could that be, I wonder? Good evening, friends! Oh, Iris, hello again. And Gina, too! Yes, Ginny's gonna stay with us tonight. She's gonna sleep in with me. Isn't that right, Ginny? Well, yeah. How lovely. Let me make a pot of tea. You know, I've learned so much today. Oh, what in particular? All those things Ginny showed us. Wasn't it wonderful? You mean all those pickpocketing techniques? We had fun trying them out on each other, didn't we? I think I've awakened a natural talent. I could earn a living from it. You might be getting ahead of yourself a little there. So, what brings you up to our humble quarters at this late hour? Well, you see, I came to return this. Wait, what? That's mine! Oh my. However did you... I told you, didn't I? I have a natural talent for it. Oh yes, I'd forgotten. Iris literally is a child genius. So anyway, here, you can have it back. Not that I really understand why you wear it, though. Thank you. Alright then, good night. Yes, good night. So this is your office, is it? What do you think, Jenny? I think I won't fancy me chances with a lawyer what lives in a place like this. Yes, me too. Ha 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 ha! It seems as though Iris here still has something she'd like to talk about. I suppose she probably wants to talk about the manuscript. Yes, I suppose she probably does. Here, let's talk about my armband and how you stole it. Oh no, never mind. This though, yeah. Okay. Stop stealing my stuff, Iris. I think perhaps we shouldn't go out at this hour. Yeah. So no movement allowed. Alright, converse. Manuscript. Iris, I suppose you're hoping to talk about the manuscript, aren't you? Aren't you gonna tell me? I'm so sorry. I need a little more time, please. Alright, I understand. I hope I haven't made you feel awkward. Oh no, not at all, Iris. Not at all. I don't know what all this is about, really, but... It's a story you made up, is it, Iris? This mental script or whatever you call it? It's not exactly a story that I made up. It's something I read in Daddy's diaries. Daddy's? That's right. I don't suppose I've mentioned it to you before, Jenny, but my daddy was Hurley's assistant once, his partner. Eh? They solved all sorts of strange and mysterious cases together. Is that right, mister? Apparently so. I was as surprised as you are, though. And Daddy wrote all the details of every single case down, you see, in his diaries. So I studied them and write my stories based on what actually happened. So, where's your old man now, then? He had to go away on urgent business to a faraway land, and he'll be gone a very long time. So I've never really met him. Thieves is. Yes. They's thieves. Oh, right. Come to think of it, I don't know anything about Gina's parents either. Perhaps we should ask her. Let's talk about the Hound of the Baskervilles. Iris, this Hound of the Baskervilles story. I take it that it's another tale inspired by your father's accounts? That's right. I thought it was fascinating. But it's different, somehow, from the other cases, I mean. Oh, how? I don't really know, but it must be special in some way, because after I'd written it, and I showed the manuscript to Hurley, he turned as white as a sheet. It was the first time I've ever seen him like that. It pains me to have to say this after you've toiled over it for so long, Iris, but this story must not be published at this time, under any circumstances. Why not? It's one of my best works! I'm not at liberty to say. Not now. So please, do not ask me. Alright then. I won't. But I do solemnly swear that I will explain everything one day, Iris, when the time is right. And that's how the manuscript came to be with Mr. Windibank, isn't it? Yes. Hurley said it had to be somewhere very safe. Really gets my goat, that does. He's treating you like a child. It's mean, that's what he is. Keeping secrets like that. I'm sure Mr. Sholmes isn't trying to be mean. Eh? If he said he wasn't at liberty to talk about it, I'm sure there must have been a very good reason. I think so too. You lot are too trusting for your own good. But he can't pull the wool over my eyes. Shums is lying to Iris. I bet my life on it. What? Hurley's lying to me? Are you over here somewhere? Yeah. Let's talk about your parents first. I realized that I don't know anything about your parents, Gina. I ain't got any, have I? Never did have. Oh. Look, the East End's full of orphans like me. No one wants nothing to do with us in the minute we're born. Not even our mums. We all stick together. The older ones look after the little ones and make sure they get by. So that's why you're a pickpocket? Nah. Driving's my life. I love it. I get a kick out of it every time I lift some populous idiot's purse. And that's how we can all afford to eat. I'm like Robin Hood, ain't I? That's how I see it. Oh, Gina. I do think about it sometimes. What it'd be like to have parents on me. I always thought it would make everything right. But having listened to what Iris just said, it sounds like having parents ain't always easy either. Oh. I mean, if you know you never had them, you don't feel like you always want to meet them. It's true. I do want to see Daddy so much. Oh, Iris. Yeah, that's awkward. Well, see, there was this lady named Giselle Bratz, and she murdered her dad. Gina, what did you mean when you said that you know Mr. Sholmes is lying to Iris? Well, he reckons he put that manuscript or whatever, right? Well, come on, that's obviously a load of rubbish. Oh my, why would you think that, Gina? It's simple. If that story was really an old Winterbank story, there's no way someone from halfway around the world, in other words, you, could know about it. Sorry, Iris, but if you ask me, he sold it. Without telling you. But Hurley would never do something like that. I'm sure of it. Ha! Grown-ups do a lot worse than that, believe me. Barefaced liars, a lot of them. You just ain't realised it yet. I'm telling you, that manuscript ain't a Winterbanks. You'd sense in it if you had a look. Even if you think you can trust him, I don't. That Sholmes is a liar like the rest of them. If I'm honest, I have wondered if Hurley's telling me the truth sometimes. See? Oh, but I don't mean that I think he sold it. I mean that I sometimes wonder if he might have hidden my manuscript somewhere I don't know, even though it's wrong of me to doubt him. Don't be too hard on yourself, Iris. Oh my goodness, look at the time. Come along, Ginny. We should go back downstairs. Yeah, alright. And please, don't mention any of this to Hurley, will you? No, of course not. Good night then, Iris. Good night, Gina. You must let me make breakfast for you tomorrow morning. I insist. Oh, yes, please. I can't wait, Susie. Good night then. Iris, it sure is easy to forget, isn't it? Sometimes she speaks just like an adult, but deep down, she's still just a child. Well, I think it's time that it turned in for the night too, Naruhodo-san. Dr. John H. Wilson, Iris' father, but also the name of the murdered visiting professor at Yuma University. It can't be a mere coincidence. There's something deeper going on. Mr. Naruhodo. Mr. Naruhodo. That voice. That's Mr. Sholmes. Oh. It's still nighttime? What's going on? It's the middle of the night. It's Miss Lestrade. She's gone. Gina? She was supposed to be sleeping in Iris' room, but her bed is empty. Well, she's an independent young woman. She probably decided to go home, no? I think not. From speaking to her before she retired, I received the distinct impression that she was looking forward to breakfasting with Mrs. Sato. No, I don't believe the girl has gone home. I've been waiting for over an hour now. Oh, for an hour? Oh. If you'll indulge me, look out of the window, my dear fellow. What's this about? Uh-oh. What happened? Huh? Oh, wait a minute. Why is there a light on at this time of night? That's Mr. Windibank's pawn boat over there. Mr. Windibank's. Oh no! She's gonna go steal the manuscript back, if it's there or not. Yep, there's no way someone from halfway around the world, in other words, you, could know about it. Yep. Yep. She's gonna go prove it. Could Gina have gone? It seems you have some knowledge of the situation, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? Oh no, not really. But anyway, we must investigate. At once. Mrs. Sato. Oh no. Why are you up too? 16th of April, 1:14 a.m., Baker Street. The door to Windibank's, it's open. And the lamp is burning. It must be Gina, mustn't it? Let us hope it's nothing more than more sinister. What? Come, it's not a moment to lose. Clearly something is afoot inside. Okay. Okay. Predicting. We're gonna find Gina. And we're gonna find... Oh, look. 16th of April. Look, there's blood. We're gonna find a murder victim. Yep, it's time. There's blood on the calendar. There's no one here. Oh, yes. That is. Bang. Ah! Mr. Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes! What the... Has Sholmes been shot? Leave me in the Mr. Naruhodo. But... After them! Go! Right. Blast! I've lost them. Hello, whatever. Oh! I'm just ways from this pawnbroker, sir. Would you know something about that? Officer, come with me. It's my friend, Mr. Sholmes. He's been shot. Shot?! With the policeman close behind me, I ran back to Windibank's.
Mr. Sholmes!
Mr. Naruhodo.
How bad is it? Never mind me, but there's much at stake. Behind that door. In the storeroom. Hurry!
Oh my. Oh no! Oh, I knew it. Somebody was gonna be dead.
It's Gina!
Yep. Things are getting dicey. Bang. Barry, Mr. Oh, yeah. Behind that door in the storeroom. Hurry. Yeah. Behind that door in the storeroom. Hurry. Yep. We saw this in the cutscene. Yep. Yep. Oh, that would be like if you saved and then didn't come back for a while. From that moment, Windibank's pawnbrokery became a crime scene. Everything that followed happened in a whirlwind of activity. The arrival of the police, the preliminary investigation of the scene, and the questioning. It was just before dawn before I was allowed back to my lodgings at 221B. April, 6:21 a.m. Naruhodo's legal consultancy. Oh, Iris! You missed it all, didn't you? A telegram came, but all it said was, "Wait at home." Oh, yes, we asked one of the policemen to have it sent. It was simply impossible to come back. When I woke up, I was all alone. Hurley and Ginny were gone. Everyone was gone. What happened, Miss Bruno? Poor Iris, she's trembling. She's obviously trying very hard not to let herself get too worried. I'll explain everything that I know. Something awful has happened, hasn't it? Yes, I'm afraid so. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, Iris, but Mr. Windibank is dead. He was shot. We discovered it in the early hours of the morning. Oh, yes, I had a feeling. You did? Well, I saw all those police carriages pulling out outside his shop, so I knew something must have happened there. When we entered Windibank's in the small hours, we disturbed a gang of 2 thugs. They ran out onto the street, and I chased after them, but they got away. So it was one of them who shot old Mr. Windibank, I suppose. I don't know, but that's not what the police believe at the moment. Oh, why not? They've arrested someone else as their prime suspect, you see. Gina. Ginny? But why? Well, the thing is... No! Ginny wouldn't do something like that. I know. None of us think she did it. Then why have they arrested her? I'm sorry. There was nothing I could do. Sholmes. So where's Hurley then? Is he still there investigating the scene? He really ought to have some breakfast. It's not good for him to miss meals. I don't want you to worry, Iris, but I have some news about Mr. Sholmes. He was taken to hospital this morning. What? Well, when we entered Windibank's, a gun was fired and he took a bullet. Hurley? Was shot? No! It's alright. His life isn't in danger. Really? Are you sure? Where is he? Which hospital? He's at St. Sinners. St. Sinners? What the heck? They're tending to him there. I must see him at once. I'm sorry, Iris, but you can't. Why not? That's not fair. I'm a family member. I should be allowed. No, I mean, nobody can see him at the moment. He's not allowed any visitors. They're preparing to operate, you see. To operate? Oh, poor Hurley. It was the 2 thugs who were at Mr. Windibank's shop. They shot Mr. Sholmes when we disturbed them, you see. It was pitch black inside the shop at the time. My mind went totally blank, I'm afraid. I just froze. After them, go! After that, I ran out into the street, but, well, they were long gone. I shouldn't have hesitated. I'm so sorry. It's my fault. I let them get away. I think that's a very good thing. Sorry? Well, if you'd seen which way they went and chased after them, you might have been shot as well, Bruno. That's good. Stands to reason. On top of everything else, I couldn't bear that. Oh, Iris. Where's Susie, Bruno? She's still at the police station. Oh, why? I expect she's still being questioned. The police said that they wouldn't be finished for a while. Why aren't you there then? Good question. Well, I didn't get a good look at the criminals anyway, so they weren't questioning me for long. And Mr. Sato stayed behind at the scene to tend to Mr. Sholmes, so they didn't get started until later. Oh, I see. Besides, one of us had to come back to be with Iris. I'm glad Inspector Gregson agreed to me leaving early. You should have let me know, and I would have come to the station. I don't understand why they arrested Ginny. It's not fair. What about the two thugs that were at the scene? Why aren't they the prime suspects? After all, they shot Hurley dead, didn't they? No, I mean, Mr. Sholmes isn't dead, Iris. This is also horrible. The thing is, Mr. Windibank was found on the floor in the storeroom where he keeps all the deposited articles, and the storeroom door was locked from the inside. I see. But he wasn't alone in there. Gina was found next to him on the floor as well. It's another locked room mystery. Oh no. And according to the detectives who investigated afterwards... Don't tell me there was no one else in the room? Yes, exactly. How did you know? It's the only explanation. Yes, the only explanation indeed. What do you mean by that, Runo? Well? What can I say? I'm damned if I agree and damned if I don't. I'm afraid I'll need to go out again now, Iris. There's not much I can do at the moment, but I can at least try to find out how Mr. Sholmes and Gina are getting on. I want to go too. Take me with you, Runo. I can't stand just sitting around here waiting. I'm not sure how I feel about taking a 10-year-old child to the scene of a murder, but I don't want to leave her all alone here either. Alright then, Iris. Perhaps you could help me? Oh yes, I'd love to. Gina's at the prison. Mr. Sholmes is probably in his hospital bed. And don't forget we have to visit the crime scene. We need to conduct a thorough investigation. I can see you're ready for action. I imagine Iris would appreciate going to the hospital sooner rather than later. Alright. A new location has been added. Prison and St. Sinners. Let's do St. Sinners. Hey, Iris is our new companion. Imagine that. 16th of April, St. Sinners Hospital. Ward 3. Still can't get over that name. Hurley! Oh! He's not here. No, that's strange. The nurse definitely said he was in the bed by the window, didn't she? Oh, I know what's probably happened. Hurley was being a big baby, and the bullet wound wasn't that bad after all, so he's been sent home. I'm not so sure about that, baby or not. There's no question that it was a fairly serious injury that Mr. Sholmes suffered. Oh. Hello, what have we here? This ward is off limits, no visiting, or what are you doing in here, eh? Well, I'll have you know, we're Hurley's next of kin. Eh? Oh! Well, begging your pardon then, ma'am said. A little lady and a curious Eastern gentleman? The great mystery solver is a mysterious family, eh? If that's how you see us, I'm sure. Where is he, Constable? Where's Hurley? I believe he is currently in the operating theatre, ma'am, undergoing an extensive operation. Extensive? It has been several hours since they went in. Alright, which would have bet he's gonna fake his death for some reason? It would be a very Sherlock Holmes thing to do. Oh dear, is he gonna be alright? Well, it doesn't appear to be working, you say. The anesthetic, that is. Oh, I have heard a report that the gentleman claims he may have had a little too much to drink last night. Coffee, that is. Anyway, I think it would be fair to assume that he won't be back here for several hours yet. I see. Thank you, Constable. Perhaps we should leave and come back later. Oh, poor Hurley. Alright, can we look? What's this sign say? I want to read it. Can we read it? This must be Mr. Sholmes' bed. Poor Hurley. I know. It looks as stiff as a board, doesn't it? Oh, I don't think that will bother him. No? I often find him asleep face down on the floor, completely dead to the world. I think I'd call the police if I discovered something like that. What's this? I wonder what these are. Do you have any idea, Iris? Oh, haven't you ever seen crutches before? Let me explain. They're for people with leg injuries, to help them walk. You hold one under each arm, you see? Ah, right. I thought they were weapons of some sort. Why would there be weapons in a hospital? I thought maybe a fighter had been injured in the battle contest and been brought here all along with his weapons. That's surprisingly plausible. No, they kind of look like Tonfa, right? Alright, let's blow this sinner's stand and go to the prison. Ouch, indeed. 16th of April, local prison, cell 13. Hello, Gina. Why do you still have your gun? Oh, you still have the grenade launcher Hurley and I made. I wish you wouldn't point it at me all the time, though. What are you doing for? Ginny, I have a feeling it's because of us that you've ended up in trouble. So we were thinking we might be able to help you. Well, you can't. Sorry? You bird, get lost! Don't be like that, Ginny. I know you didn't do it. You'd never shoot someone. I just know you wouldn't. You think you know me? Pull the other one. Oh. You ain't got the first idea about the likes of me. I'm a thief. I pinch people's purses when they're walking down the street. That's how I get by. And if I saw me chits, I'd sneak into a pawn shop any day of the week. See what I could lay my hands on, get it? That's the kind of person I am. But Ginny, I'll be in court tomorrow, they said. Some cove came by before and said he'd be a lawyer for me. The lawyer said it was my right or something. But I told him to get stuffed. I don't need a lawyer, I don't need no one. She couldn't be staring at me any more obviously if she tried. Why are you being like this, Ginny? Wait. Look at my badge. Look at my armband. Would you have a look at? Oh, yeah, she took it. Yeah, I remember. Oh yeah. Yeah. All right, legal representation. I don't understand, Gina. Why did you send the public defender away? They wanted me to sign some papers, representation papers or something like that. It's all gonna be rigged anyway. Whole trial. They'll pin it on me because I'm a kid. That's what grown-ups always do. Why do you think that? Because that's how it always been for me growing up in the back slumps my whole life. If you do what the grown-ups tell you, it'll get your mates dragged off by the coppers or worse. I've had it happen to me before and all. Been sold out and nearly snaffled on the back of it. Can't trust no one. That's the point. As soon as you do, you're going to grass. Dead. Gina, listen. If you like, in tomorrow's trial, I could... Forget it! Jenny! Don't you trust her now? Nah, I don't. Look, I'll ask you nicely, man. Just leave me alone. Can we talk about what happened? Will you tell us what happened, Gina? Last night at the pawnbrokers? There's nothing to tell. I figured it'd pay me. So I broke into the place and started going through the storeroom. The old bloke walked in on me, and you know the rest. But why, Jenny? Why would you do that? Ain't it obvious? The place is full of stuff I could sell for a shilling or two. Diving ain't easy, you know? It's a lot of work, and half the time you don't even get nothing. Is that really why you broke into the place? What? Are you sure the true reason wasn't something else? Oh, give it a rest. What'll be the point anyway, eh? Nothing I could say would make a blind bit of difference. Please tell us, Ginny. We'd believe you, whatever it is. Believe me. Don't be daft. Can't believe nothing. Everyone lies all the time. And you know what? When it comes to liars, I'm the biggest one of the lot. I've told some unforgivable lies, I have. What do you mean by that? What unforgivable lies? Now let's talk about that. What did you mean before, Gina, when you said you were the biggest liar of the lot? Why don't you tell us what these unforgivable lies you've told are? Maybe we can help. Sorry. We're out of time. They're gonna want to question me now. Ginny, please. Oh yeah. I wanted to give you this. Something to remember me by. It's a cat. photographic print of a really adorable cat. I found it in one of the pickpockets. One of the pockets of this coat. Ain't no point in me having it. I wonder what a little photograph like that was doing in the pocket of that overcoat. Anyway, don't bother coming again. Bye. Oh, Jenny. The white cat photograph has been entered into the court record. Interesting. Well, can we go to the pawnbrokery? th of April, Linda Banks Pawnbrokery. This is where it happened then. Last night? That's right. Two thugs I told you about were obviously ransacking the place looking for valuables. But apart from the policeman in here, you wouldn't know anything had happened. There's no sign of a disturbance. No, you're right about that, actually. In fact, if anyone, it's the police who seem to be the ones doing the ransacking. I know what you mean. They're like a gang of organized criminals all dressed in black. Oh, I heard that! Yep. Oh, is it a color photo? I bet you're right, it is. Suppose I ought to thank you for your vigilance last night. You got the scene before it was disturbed, at least. Shame you let the two rogues get away, mind. Yes, I'm sorry about that. I thought you'd assigned extra men to the beat around here, Gregsy. Now look what's happened. Policeman injured because there weren't enough police on duty. Ah! Your ladyship! No one told me you were coming! I expect you to take full responsibility for what happened to Hurley and see he has the very best medical care. Of course, your ladyship. The very best doctors in the capital are tending him as we speak. And I don't think it's Bruno's fault. The rogues managed to get away, is it? Chasing criminals is the police's job. Absolutely, your ladyship. As you say, ma'am, as you say. The gent in black is totally blameless. Everyone's in agreement about that. Would you believe it? He's like a completely different person with Iris. Talk about a personality change. Oh, where are my manners? Are you thirsty, your ladyship? Perhaps you'd like some juice? Some nice, refreshing fruit juice. Why? Are you thirsty, Gregsy? I have some of my special herbal tea with me if you'd like some. Glug, glug, glug. Ah, lovely. Ta very much. Ta very much. That really hit the spot, your ladyship. I don't even recognize him like this. This officer has been staring intently at the wall since before we came in. Shh, keep it down. Oh, sorry. There's a major clue just there. Really? Then we must tell Gregsy at once. But as soon as I report it, that'll be it. It'll be stuck here even longer. Stuck here? What do you mean? I haven't been home in 2 days already. I need another constable to relieve me and take over my shift. Haha, they really have a tough time, the British police. That doesn't stop us investigating, though, does it? No, I suppose not. I'm fairly sure it was the calendar he was peering at. Oh yeah. Alright then, let's see what we can uncover. Oh, well, what do you think you're doing, Sunshine? Can't touch anything in here. Oh, but we were hoping to investigate. This is a crime scene, for Pete's sake. No touching. What's the problem, Gregsy? Bruno's a lawyer, you know that. Oh, I'm ever so sorry, ladyship, ever so sorry. The rules and regulations are a thorn in my side. Of course, if Naruhodo was to be properly appointed by the accused, that'd be another matter. The accused? If you could show me some representation papers, I'd be only too happy to let you nose around. Did you hear that, Bruno? You need Ginny to sign some representation papers. I am creeped out by Gregson like this. You look like presenting the detective here with the correct paperwork is the only way. Alright, so we can't investigate till we get Gregson his papers. Can we talk to him about anything, though? Yeah. So, how is the investigation going, Inspector? Nothing to it, really. Very simple case, this, with some very definitive evidence. We just about to charge that diver we arrested last night, in fact. Gina, you're gonna charge her? That's right. Should be able to bring her before the judge at the Bailey tomorrow. Definitive evidence, you say? What is it? Come on, show me. Your ladyship, as much as I wish I could oblige you, I'm afraid. Ah, I see. You've already captured the pair of thugs who broke in here last night, have you? What the? And you're going to put them on the stand as witnesses, are you? How could you? How could you possibly know that? I had a feeling, that's all. Remind me never to try to keep a secret from Iris. So you arrested the two men who shot Mr. Sholmes, have you? Well, yes. They were rounded up pretty quickly by the lads on the beat. And Miss Lestrade is being held at the prison? She should be. That's assuming she has lifted the key from the jailer, of course. Can you tell us anything about Mr. Sholmes? What's his condition? Sorry, I'm not at liberty to divulge that information. Scotland Yard matters are strictly confidential. Well, I know he's being operated on at St. Sinners. Why can't I see him? I'm a family, you know? I'm terribly sorry, your ladyship. It's the hospital's policy, no visiting and all. Oh. The bullet must have hit an artery in his midriff. He's lost a fair bit of blood. Oh no. He didn't seem too bad in the first hour or so, but a hemorrhage like that is enough to make even the one and only Sholmes pop down. Mr. Sholmes is a human like the rest of us, you know. Well, anyway, he's having emergency surgery right now. Gotta stop that bleeding. But he will be alright, won't he? They'll be able to make him better. Of course, your ladyship. He'll be right as rain before you know it. Really? How do you know? How do I know? Because, of course... Oh yes, because Mr. Sholmes is such a great detective, that's why. We better pray the doctors have a better grasp of what's needed to make someone well again. Oh dear, please don't die, Hurley. I'll report to your ladyship the moment I hear he's at the operating theatre. I couldn't help noticing, Inspector. Well, how with it, sunshine? Well, there seems to be a marked difference between the way you talk to me and Iris. What's the sauce, Sonny? I'm a cop. We don't go enough for favoritism. But he's right. You do treat us differently. It's because of those adventures that Erlock Sholmes stories, that's why. Oh, I crop up in them, don't I? Inspector Tobias Gregson. Oh, well, yes, because you're an acquaintance of Hurley's. What did you write about the inspector, Iris? I don't remember, really. It was one of Sholmes's lines. Gregson is the smartest of the Scotland Yarders. That's how he put it. Oh, did I write that? You know what that one line did for me, eh? The very next month, my pay doubled. Doubled, I tell you! Oh, that's amazing. All because everyone at the yard reads them. They read all the Erlock Sholmes stories. They've even set up a fan club for me. Of course, that explains everything. It was around that time that you became such a toady to me. Can you blame me? All it takes is one bad word from you and Sholmes can change his tune about me. Gregson? No, the great detective will say he's getting quite overrated these days. Think what would happen to my salary if that came out in print, eh? The whole thing gives me the willies. I can't tell you how many nights of sleep I've lost worrying about it. But that would never happen, Gracie. Every month when the new Rents magazine comes out, my hands are trembling as I turn the pages. Oh, how awful for you. Here, have some of my tea to settle your nerves. Glug, 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 glug. Ah, lovely. Ah, very much. That really hit the spot, your ladyship. Teetotal. Oh, yeah. There's something I was supposed to talk to you about, actually, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, what is it? I've got an important message for you. I clean forgot about it till now. An important message? I wonder what it could be. Yeah, haha, I know. Are you gonna tell me what this important message is then, Inspector? Yeah, it's about that young lady who's normally by your side. You assisted. Oh, dear Susie, is she alright? She's at the station, isn't she? Being questioned, I believe. Oh no, I did the wrong voice. That was Naruhodo saying. Nope, not anymore. She had to head off. Head off? Where? The Lord Stronghold's office, of course. We summoned her. Ah, yes, of course. I'd forgotten about that. One of the whipstocks took her there in a yard carriage after we finished questioning her. But she asked us to tell you she didn't have the fare for the return journey and to go meet her there. She's got a nerve, using Scotland Yard as a bloomin' messaging service. I see. Well, thank you for passing that on, Inspector. Why did Susie have to go see the Lord Chief Justice? She didn't tell me, but I better head over to the Lord Chief Justice's office to fetch her straight away. Alright, thanks, Gregson. You're still pretty cool. New location. Let's go to the Chief Justice's office. I love Gregson's theme song. 16th of April, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. Yes. No matter how many times I come here, I always get the same sense of oppressiveness somehow. Do you think the place is oppressive? I think it's normal. How so? I mean, look at that suit of armor over there. You can't take that seriously, can you? Maybe it thinks the same about you. So everything is clear with regard to tomorrow's arrangements, I trust. I bet that's stronger. Yes, thank you very much. Ah! Lord Strong Impressions himself. Yep. There they are. Susato-san and Lord Strongheart. I wonder what they're talking about. They both look very serious.
Very good. There is nothing further to discuss. You may return to your lodgings. No doubt you have much to do in preparation for your return to your homeland.
Return to your homeland? Wait, what did he just say? Your return to your homeland? Susato-san! Oh, Mr. Naruhodo. What was all that about?
Ah, Mr. Naruhodo, thank you for coming to collect your colleague.
What's all this about? Why were you talking about Mrs. Sato's return to her homeland? And tomorrow? Tomorrow? But what about Ginny's trial? You mean she's been formally charged now? Oh dear. Uh-oh. Quick, look at this picture of a cat. So, about this. Wait, I must have more time to examine it thoroughly. Really, there's no need. If it's not relevant at the moment, you can just say so. Susato-san takes everything so seriously. We'll do the armband later. Let's talk about this whole returning to the homeland thing. Mr. Sato, what's this all about? Oh, please don't concern yourself, Mr. Naruhodo. It's only me going back to Japan. Your life here can continue just as it has. That's not what I asked! What happened? Why are you leaving? It's my father. He's fallen ill. Oh no! Professor Gatoba? If I may. Yes, sorry? You must be the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Yujin Mikitoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University.
We received an international telegram from the Empire of Japan, informing us of the news.
10 days ago, Father collapsed with a fever. The cause is apparently unknown, and it seems he grows weaker day by day. I don't believe it.
As you are aware, the voyage from here to your country's capital, Tokyo, takes some 50 days. So it would be prudent to hasten Mrs. Sato's departure as much as possible.
Yes, absolutely. I will leave London first thing tomorrow morning. I can't believe this is happening. Well, this sucks. Is Iris our assistant from now on? So Gina has been charged? She'll have to appear in court? Yes, she was formally charged a few hours ago, and the date of the trial has already been set for tomorrow. No! Not even 24 hours later?
Gina? Ah, the Lestrade girl in the murder of the Baker Street pawnbroker. Yes. An all too conspicuous case. The pickpocket was clearly disturbed mid-robbery, and she shot the man in a panic. No, the yard is overstretched as it is without wasting time on these open and shut cases.
It's not wasting time. Ginny would never do something like that.
Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh, yes, Lord Strongheart.
In deference to your fine services to date, I shall overlook this young girl's insolence. But I have no recollection of admitting a child in my office. Leave. Now.
Of course, Lord Strongheart.
Criminals will tell the most palpable lies in order to evade justice. The police can ill afford the time it takes to unravel all their tools. Meanwhile, more crimes are perpetuated. There are far more serious matters we to contend.
Serious matters? Didn't Gregson mention something like that yesterday? Yes, Inspector Gregson made a similar remark yesterday.
It's no concern of yours. I'm sure I need not remind you of that. "3 minutes precisely until my next meeting. You must excuse me."
There's just one more thing, Lord Strongheart.
Which is?
It's Miss Lestrade's trial. I wonder if you might permit me to defend her?
A timely suggestion.
Sorry?
The girl currently has no representation.
But that's not fair. Yes, she may be a pickpocket, but she still deserves a fair trial.
Do not misunderstand me, young lady. The government provides for those who want to afford representation with the public defender. The accused need only sign the relevant paperwork, and a defense barrister will be assigned to the case. However, the young girl in question has refused that right.
We talked to her about this already. Why would she do that?
A question you would do well to direct Miss Lestrade. You'll find her at the local prison.
Yes, thank you.
Now then, it's time I was leaving. Good day to you.
What a day. Gina charged with murder? Suicidal-san about to leave? Come, Mr. Naruhodo. Iris, we must make haste. But, Susie... You're leaving for Japan tomorrow morning, aren't you? Don't you have packing and things to do? As Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, my personal circumstances are of no consequence. My sole purpose remains to help you in whatever way I can. Thank you, Mrs. Sato. That's a very pensive look. I think we ought to visit Gina first. In any case, I should like to wish her well before I leave. Yes, that sounds like a good idea. Let's go. If I'm honest, this has completely thrown me off. I'll just have to do what I can, as a lawyer. And the sound of the gears turning is so kind of creepy. Oh, I've always dreamt of sitting at a huge desk like that and looking important. Why don't you try it then? Discreetly, of course. Alright, I will. Tell me how I look. Well, Runo, what do you think? A little too discreet. I can't even see you. Those giant suits of armor are still facing each other menacingly across the room. I just can't understand why anyone would wear things like that in battle. They must be so heavy. I expect you'd invent some special lightweight suit if it was down to you, wouldn't you, Iris? I think if it was me, I'd invent a world where people didn't need to fight each other in the first place. Iris, you're a champion. Well, what do you think? That was a model answer, wasn't it? She's 10, Ryunosuke. 10, and she's leading you around by the nose. Yes, throws me off a bit too. Yeah. Oh my goodness, just look at all these books. Yes, there are books about the judicial systems of all different Western nations. Even for someone like me, It would take at least 10 days to read all of these. Just 10 days? Oh, I was only joking, Reno. I thought it would be fun to play up my genius. It's scarily unbelievable with you, that's the trouble. Is there anything, like, else to look at around here? Not really. Sholmes isn't, like, scuttling about. Bleeding. I love clocks and their mechanisms, don't you? The way all the hundreds of pieces fit together and work as one to move the hands of a single timepiece? Yes, I can imagine clocks are just your cup of tea. When I was little, I used to dream of one day living inside a clock, you know? You must be envious of the Lord Chief Justice having his office in a place like this, I suppose. No, not really. Oh. Well, I mean, that's a dream for when you're little. It'd be silly now. Don't let Lord Strongheart hear you talking like that.
I resent that remark.
Alright, so I think we're done. Yes. Soldiers wear similarly witted kits today. Yeah, true. Where is your mom, Iris? Alright, St. Sinners, prison. I think we're going back to prison? Hospital. Alright. 16th of April, local prison, cell 13. Yep, she's back. Ah! Hello again, Gina. What are you lot here for now? The muzzle of that grenade launcher shoved in our faces yet again, obviously. I think I need to improve the way you load ammunition into that thing, don't I? Look! You can come as many times as you like, but I ain't got nothing more to say to you. Gina, I wonder if you might hear me out. There's something I'd like to say. What? I'm sorry to say that I must reluctantly bid you farewell. Eh? Farewell? Tomorrow I must begin my journey back home, to Japan. I fear we may never meet again. Oh, right. I've had the pleasure of meeting so many lovely people here in London. I have so many wonderful memories. And yet, as things stand now, it will be a glum parting indeed. Poor Iris is so miserable. Susie. Well, that ain't my business. Both Iris and Mr. Naruhodo believe you to be innocent, Gina. They put their faith in you. But somehow, you can't find it in your heart to put your faith in them. Yeah, that's right, I can't. What of it? It grieves me greatly to have to say goodbye to my friends when they're so clearly unhappy. Because of you. Huh? What? It's my fault? Yes, so I have one final request, Gina, before our paths never cross again. Right here and now. I want you to show both of them that you don't deserve the faith they've invested in you. Eh? Only by doing that will you truly be as alone as you claim to be. Oh boy. What are you talking about? What do you expect me to do, eh? You've told us that everyone lies. So prove it by admitting one of your own untruths. What about what you said before, Jenny? You said something about unforgivable lies. You must tell Mr. Naruhodo and Iris the truth now. That is my last request before I leave. My last request as a judicial assistant. No, I can't. Whatever these lies are, they're obviously weighing very heavily on Gina's mind. Gina, I could be wrong, but is it something to do with what happened 2 months ago? Something about that trial? Yeah, I thought so. The one in which Magnus McGilden was acquitted? Oh, the case of that mysterious murder that took place inside the omnibus? You were called as a witness by the prosecution. Is that what this is about? Did you lie from McGilden? I bet. Yeah, you're right. Because in that trial, I lied. I lied like you wouldn't believe. Will you tell us about it now? Let's talk about it. You said it all happened 2 months ago. Couples got hold of me, he shoved me in the witness stand. And based on your testimony, Mr. McGilden was declared innocent. Yeah, well, the thing is, I lied about a whole bunch of stuff. I knew it. What sort of thing did you lie about? I was hiding under the seat that night. That was the truth. But... yeah, so dramatic indeed. Very dramatic. It was pitch black in that little cubby-o. I couldn't say a thing. And then... thud. I heard that loud thud. Someone falling on the floor. And that's when Mr. McGilder discovered you? Yeah. He pulled me out from under the seat and sat me next to the dead man. I wasn't too much lot to say by, but when I looked at my hands, I had the cove's blood all over him. I was so scared. Couldn't even speak. You had his blood on your hands? In other words, it was Gina that the witnesses on the roof deck saw through the skylight. Then, Mr. McGilden started asking you questions, I suppose? Who you were and why you were hiding under the seat? Yeah, he did. Only, that's not all. What do you mean? I mean, he threatened me. Threatened you? How? It made me swear about what I'd seen and what I'd heard. And about what he was going to do after the cove was found dead. It made me swear I wouldn't tell no one about any of it. If I did that, he said he'd let me scalp it before the couple showed up. You must tell me what he swore you to secrecy about. What you saw, what you heard, everything. Oh, wow. What you saw. You said Mr. McGilden made you swear not to tell anybody what you saw. But you were in the pitch black compartment under the seat the whole time, weren't you? Yes, with Mr. McGilden sitting above your head, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's true. But it was when I heard the thud of the cove hitting the floor. I screamed, you say. Couldn't help it. McGilden heard that and dragged me out by my arm. That's when I saw it. It was on the floor next to the old gazer what had been stabbed. A disc, all bright and shiny. A disc? Do you mean? Yeah, that's it. The one what the day took off my windowbanks. So the music box disc was there on the floor of the omnibus? Not for long, McGilden spotted it straight away. He picked it up smartish and stuffed it in his inside pocket. So that disc was in the omnibus 2 months ago at the scene of Mr. Mason's murder. And the bog trotter told me. I won't tell a word of it to no one. Because it was so dark on the seat in the cab, I was straining my ears the whole time. After a while, I heard the door and footsteps inside the cabin. Presumably, that was McGilden getting on board. Nah, not only him. Oh, looks like I could definitely make out the footsteps of two people. Was the other one Mr. Egg Benedict? In that case, it would seem like it was Mr. McGilden and the victim, Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. Oh no, maybe it was Mason. In his testimony during the trial, Mr. McGilden claimed he was slept during the carriage ride. Whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness, and I was to come to it. And your own testimony, Gina, supported his. All I could hear was the Irishman snoring. Right. Yeah, that weren't exactly true. Neither of them was asleep. I could hear him talking the whole time in low voices. What? What were they talking about? Sorry, I don't know. The sound of the ulcers and the wheels was too loud. But that still tells us something. Mr. McGilden and the victim knew each other. So Mr. McGilden was lying, as I suspected. The event. I knew it wasn't going to take long before someone raised the alarm that the bloke had been killed. Yes, you were quite right. The other passengers on the roof deck noticed very quickly. So when the cab came to a stop, McGilden told me to hide back onto the seat again. I climbed in and waited. The two cubs ran off to get the coppers. Yes, Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First. Right, and after they'd gone, McGilden asked the driver to do him a favor. A favor? Now then, fella, what I need you to do is take this coat of mine and deposit it with a nearby pawnbroker. And for your troubles. Let's see now. Hey, I'll give you 10 guineas. A nearby pawnbroker? You mean on Baker Street? Yep, we got it. It was Winterbank's. Couchy snapped up the money and ran off to pop this club as fast as he could. So then there was no one left in the carriage. Miss Gilded opened the box under the seat and let me get out of there. But not without conditions. I see. Yeah, what about his conditions? What were McGilded's conditions then? For letting you go free, I mean. I'm not telling a soul. Not for anything. But what I saw and what I heard. And there was something else as well. There's more? Yeah. This is the most important thing, he said. I'm after sending the coachman on a little errand for me, with some small change in his hand. Now then, did you hear what I asked of him? Did you see anything at all? At all? You asked him to go pop your ways, though, right? Aye. The feed's taking me overcoat to deposit with a pawnbroker hereabouts. Well, I want you, lass, to take the redemption ticket for it. Do you understand? Well, you want me to have the ticket? That's right. I'll come fetch it from you later. Sometime within the next 2 months. But to hang on into it till then, is that clear? And whatever you do, don't lose it. Alright then. And in case I might happen to be delayed at all, you to go to the pawn shop, Winterbank so it is. I need to extend the loan after the 2 months is up. If you forget, the article will be forfeited. The old fiend can come along and buy it. Eh, but I ain't got that kind of brass. Here's £5. That should be enough. We understand each other, lass. Don't try anything funny now. If you go against me. Yeah, I'll get you. Good. Now one more thing. In a few days from now, you'll be visited by the police, I've no doubt. The coppers? Aye, we'll come asking you to take the stand in court. To testify as a witness. So let's just have a wee chat about that, shall we? What is it you might say? And what is it that you want? After he'd gone over it all, I parked it, let us follow away from there as I could. He had the pawnbroker's ticket, some bushes near the scene. I wanted to fetch it the next day once it got dark. So McGilded planned it, and coerced Gina into giving false testimony. Yeah, he's definitely innocent, right? Bet you're ready to string me up, eh? I lied in that big old courtroom. I told some corkers. The thing is, he said he would make it so we wouldn't live in the East End no more. That's what he threatened me with. A wicked man. He knew everything what went on back slums. He knew we had no one to look after us, and we was always looking after each other, getting by together. So you mean Mr. McGilded would have, in an heartbeat, he could have had a lot of us chased out of there if he wanted. And then where we would have gone, eh? Nowhere, that's where. So, I didn't have no choice. Thank you, Gina, for telling us everything. But I'm for it now, eh? Go on, admit it. You must be livid. Well, you can make amends by doing me a simple favor. A favor? What? Sign the representation papers for tomorrow's trial. Eh? If you don't actually want me to represent you in court, you can rip it up later. But we need that paperwork or we can't investigate. The police won't let us. Investigate what? The scene of the incident last night. Mr. Sholmes was shot, you see. You what? Hurley's having a big operation right now, Ginny. Is it bad? Is he gonna be alright? Sholmes gonna be alright, right? That's why I want to investigate, for Mr. Sholmes' sake as much as anything. Right. So what you're saying is, if I sign that bit of paper, everyone's happy, is that it? Something like that. Mrs. Sato? Yes, of course. I have the representation papers here. I don't need no one to stick up for me, though. No lawyer or nothing. Ginny. She seems so lonely. The paperwork signed by Gina to put me in charge of her defense, showing this Scotland Yard detective gives us access to the crime scene. Alright. Well, at least this should mean we can investigate the scene at Windibanks now. Yes, and perhaps we can come back to visit Ginny when we're done there. Maybe. I feel like we finally cracked Gina. She's opened up to us at last. And now I have her representation papers. No one else knows just what a responsibility that is. Anyway, for now it means Inspector Gregson can't stop us investigating at Windibanks. Although something tells me he's not going to be happy about it. Oh, to be continued. Well, I think that's a great place to stop it off for the night. This case is going to be a thick one, I think. Investigation Part 4. That's a lot of investigating, you know? What do you want to bet that the prosecution is going to be Mr. Van Zykes again? I don't know. But anyway, we'll see you next week at the same time. See you then.